And welcome in, everybody. It's great to see you. Welcome in. It's good to see everybody in the chat. As always, let me back up. Already chatting. I hope you guys have had just a fantastic. Let me make sure my sound is down here. Hope you've had a fantastic week. We've had a good one. Different things going on in life as that happens, and but I did get the yard mowed today, which was a good thing because I mowed it early this morning before it got really hot. So, hang on just a second. Here we go. All right, kind of coming in on two wheels here. Keith, BDF, Spencer Walker, welcome in. Good to see you again. Glad you're here. Is there a Disney, Mandy Adams, there's a Disney World ride you miss? Ooh. Mandy, I do miss, you mentioned the Great Movie Ride. I missed that one. I also really miss Splash Mountain. So, yeah. And Keith, welcome in. Welcome in. It's good to see you. 8 days until your 64th and 252 days until your Florida trip. Got a birthday come. Those birthdays come every year like clockwork, Keith. So, happy early birthday. Happy early birthday. To you. We're excited about that. I know you're having a birthday stream, so I will definitely tune in for that and looking forward to it. Yeah, Mandy, I am missing the Great Movie Ride, but absolutely, yeah, we're excited for you, Keith. Let's see where we go. Oh, Mandy's talking about the Great Movie Ride, which kind of goes along with our theme tonight and what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about changes that Disney has made and the ones that we feel like they're getting right and the ones that are not so great. So we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Good, Tina. Welcome in. Mr. Juma. Hey, it's good to see you as always. Welcome. Mr. Juma is one of our channel members, one of the sweet people who donates a little bit every month to bless us with a little extra income to support the channel. Things like equipment, travel expenses, stuff like that. So we so appreciate all of our channel members. Tina McNeil, appreciate y'all so much, and Mr. Juma, you've been a very special supporter of our channel for a long time, and it's always just does my heart good when I see you in the chat. Thank you. Dana Turkey Lexter, howdy, foolish mortals. Happy Tuesday. Absolutely. Dane, it's good to see you. Let's see. Well, Keith, that's kind of, buddy, that's kind of how it goes, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Tina is saying hello to Aunt Susan and Aunt Joy, my sisters. And I always call them Aunt Susan and Aunt Joy. They're not my aunts, they're my sisters. But that's what I say to my kids. Like when I mentioned, when I talk about Susan, for some reason when I'm talking to them, I always say Aunt Susan or Aunt Joy. So that's how they refer to them. Main Street Nick, hey buddy. Your mom has taken an epic trip. Oh my gosh, I know she's back, right? Because she has some other live streams scheduled. Y'all, Main Street Nick's mom is Jennifer Caruso. And so y'all be sure and check out her channel because she really has an amazing YouTube channel. She's got, golly, I think 20,000 subs, and it's really exciting to see her channel grow. But she just finished a big trip to Disneyland Paris. Oh my gosh. And she live streamed y'all, and it was very, very exciting. So check out Jennifer Caruso and also Main Street Nick. If one of my channel moderators wants to put Nick's link in the chat and also Jennifer Caruso, because it's really that trip was really amazing. Did you not get an invitation to Paris, Nick? What's the deal? What's the deal, buddy? Some of us have to stay home and work, don't we? Um, oh, Keith, you'll have to manage that. You'll have to manage that. Um, to going into the parks. Absolutely. We will be in pretty soon, but we are going to talk, guys. We've had several announcements from Disney here recently, and I put up this thumbnail because of a question, sort of because of a question that Pam asked. I think it was a couple of weeks ago now. That she was asking about. Well, the question was, William and I were talking about, coming attractions and things that Disney has done recently. And Pam put a question in the chat and said, "Is there anything you think Disney is doing right?" And that got me to thinking. So I put up this thumbnail, a couple of weeks ago. It's been up, and then and then last week we got the announcement that they are completely reimagining Carousel of Progress. So, and I thought, okay. So we're just going to talk about it, y'all. We're going to talk about the new stuff that's coming and some of the things that we're really looking forward to, and some of the other Disney news. Yeah, I don't know. Ron didn't exactly. Ron didn't even. What a bummer. Nick had to work, didn't get to go to Paris, and Ron didn't get an invitation either. What is up with that? Well, anyway, Jennifer Caruso, check out her channel, y'all. Dane the Turkey Lakester has shared a Main Street Nick's channel there in the chat, and y'all definitely check that out. And I know that Jennifer had such a good time. It was her first trip to Paris, I believe, and so her live streams from Disneyland Paris were fantastic. All of them were really great, and I really enjoyed her. And I'm excited, and I may try to have her on the show if she can. I don't know if she'll be able to or not, but I'd love to have her on the show and talk to her a little bit about oh, Mike, bless your heart. Guys, Mike 88 NYC is really special to us. He's a special friend to the channel, but he's also just a special friend. He has been a member for 27 months of Magic. Mike, you are one of our first channel members, and gosh, this is so sweet of you, Mike. If y'all don't know Mike 88 NYC, and most of you do. Most of you in the chat there know Mike. Mike, your Facebook posts, your social media posts, your comments a lot of times on our videos are so encouraging, and we want to be as much of an encouragement to you as you are to us, and we hope that we are. But that's kind of hard because your kindness and your sweet heart and your words of encouragement and your posts are so appreciated. And so thank you so much, Mike, for following us and being our friend and allowing us to get to know you just a little bit better. We really appreciate it. Pam, hey, welcome in. Yes, absolutely, Tina. Pam is, we so appreciate your support of the channel. You've just been there. You've always been there, and we get those kind comments on our videos, and it really means a lot. It really means a lot. Cherry Blossom Fairy, hello, welcome in, y'all. I think what I'm going to do before I do birthdays or anything, I'm going to go ahead while we're waiting on William to come in. Yes, he did make it in from his Orlando trip. They returned home yesterday from their Orlando vacation. They did 2 days at Universal, including a stay at Universal's Cabana Bay Resort, where they got upgraded to like a volcano view for the volcano bay and all the gosh, it was amazing. And he'll share that with us probably in a couple of weeks. Well, no, that'll be next week. I think I've already put up the thumbnail for it. He'll talk about Universal next week and share some pictures with us. It was amazing. And then they got on a 3-day cruise, 3-day cruise on the Disney Wish. Now, that was William's first, it was his first cruise, and they did Nassau and the Provitt Island. I'm trying to think of the Provitt Island, not Lookout, but the other one. Totally enjoyed it, had an amazing time, and it was like a completely new experience for him. So he will be telling us about that. He may give us a little preview tonight. Hatbox Ghost, welcome in, and Kadani Sean, welcome in. So good to see you guys. And y'all, Hatbox Ghost has entered the mansion. Castaway Key, that's it. Thanks for the assist there, Castaway Key. They did Nassau and Castaway Key. And like I said, first experience is with Jillian's second Disney cruise, but it was William's first, and he totally loved it. He'll tell us a little bit more about that next week, but he should be in a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and do this day in Disney history. 1968. Senator Bobby Kennedy and astronaut John Glenn visit Disneyland with family and friends. At this time, Kennedy is a leading candidate for the Democratic nomination for the presidency. Just 3 days later, on June the 5th, Kennedy will be assassinated while leaving the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles. So, yeah, that's just a loss to the nation, y'all. But he visited Disneyland with John Glenn and family and friends. So cool. 2002, jumping all the way ahead, Epcot's new Journey into Imagination with Figment is dedicated. Contained within the Imagination Pavilion is the third incarnation of the attraction. Unlike the first two versions, Figment plays a larger role as the small purple dragon appears in every show scene. So that kind of goes along with our theme tonight and what we're talking about. Dean, thanks, buddy. We appreciate you. Oh my goodness, thanks so much. Yeah. But anyway, we're talking about rides that we've lost and rides that we feel like was the original better than the replacement, that kind of thing. Just a little journey into history tonight. Let's see. All right. Oh, Mike, your birthday is the 29th? Okay. 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 No, I didn't know. I don't think I knew when it was. Mike, wow. Okay, I'm going to make a note. Let me make a note here. It's thanks for letting me know. June the 29th. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. So this is your birthday month. And Mike, you should celebrate all month long. Not just the day, not just the week. The month of November is my birthday month, and I celebrate all month long and do little things, to celebrate my birthday. Sometimes you got to pamper yourself a little bit. And so I highly, highly recommend it. I've passed that little tip along to a lot of people, and they really do like it. So, yeah, cool. So happy birthday month. Happy early birthday. Let's see. 2008, Space Shuttle Discovery. Okay. We're that far removed from the shuttle program, from our nation's shuttle program, y'all. Space Shuttle Discovery docks at the International Space Station on day number 3 of its mission, delivering a mammoth lab and 2 new occupants, a NASA astronaut and Buzz Lightyear. American astronaut Jeff Shamatov officially joins the Expedition 17 crew, replacing American astronaut Garrick Reisman, and a 12-inch action figure of Buzz moves in as part of NASA's Toys in Space educational program. Buzz will remain on the International Space Station until September of 2009. So that's pretty cool. Buzz Lightyear. Yeah. Um, yeah. So I thought that was really neat. That's this day in Disney history. Let's see. Let me go back here. Okay, y'all. This is something, and space, Stacy Rogers, if you are, I'm going to go ahead and share this. Normally, I don't share links this early in the program, but I'm going to go and share this, y'all. If you haven't seen this yet, this is absolutely fantastic. I may try to pull it up and play it towards the end of the chat, but there's a link. William, you know how like when you're in a lot of times you're in Disney, you're in Universal. Sometimes during the stage shows, they will pull somebody from the audience in, and they get to dance or sing or whatever. And so they did that while William was at Diagon Alley, and y'all, it's a whole dance routine. He can tell us more about it when he comes in, but it is super cute. It is. Thank you, Pam. It is super cute. He is such a good sport, y'all. You will, I guarantee you'll love this. It is really, really sweet. Jillian got a fantastic video, and I'm so thankful that she got the video. But this is so much fun. The ladies are singing, and it's like a little stage show, and they do a little dance, and William is in with them, and I'll let him talk about that a little bit more, but it is really super cute. So we'll try to maybe watch that at the end. I had no idea, right, Mike? I had no idea that Buzz actually, other than Buzz Aldrin. I knew Buzz Aldrin went to space as Buzz Lightyear's namesake, but yeah, he did. William did really well in the little skit, dancing, and he was trying to kind of take cues from the ladies, as to what he was supposed to do. So suffice to twinkle Tom. You'll have to repeat that comment when William gets in here. But he did really well. Suffice to say, at this point, there is a kick line involved. So if you haven't seen it, it's really adorable. He is such a good sport. Okay, guys, let me hang on just a second. Let me grab the slideshow here. And so we know, y'all, that many right, he can he absolutely oh, it is cute, isn't it, Mike? Y'all will love it. Y'all will love it, trust me. And we're gonna talk to him about that when he comes in a little bit later. Y'all have a lot of things going on at Disney. Now, there are always a lot of things going on at Disney, granted. They always have projects going on. They generally have refurbs going on at, different times of the year. They have blue sky projects that are kind of just on the drawing board and may or may not, ever make it to reality. And they normally, share some of those at D23. But they have a lot of things going on right now. And things that have recently opened. So we're just gonna kind of go through these quickly, and then we're going to talk about what's coming and the recent announcement about the complete refurb of Tomorrowland, and one of our favorites, Carousel of Progress. So new attractions, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. Now this was one that I loved because what they did was to update all of the tech. I know some of you have already ridden the updated version of Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. They improved the tech on the they improved the accuracy of your blasters. It's a ride through game. So you have a blaster in front of you, and you fire and try to hit targets. It's a lot of fun as you're going through there, and you can control your vehicle, to spin around as you move, so you can hit, aim at targets. Well, they improved all of that, technology, so that now it used to be that everybody that was firing had a red dot. All you could see was a red dot. So it was hard to know which dot was yours and which dot was somebody else's. Well, now they've changed that that's one of the pieces that they have changed to make it better. So if you have a red dot and the person in the ride vehicle with you has a blue dot, whether or not you're hitting the target. So lots of good tech updates there. I'm really excited about that. That opened April 8th. So that's been that right, Pam. Oh, it's true. They did a little of everything. They sure did. Roomba, Twist. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. So we have to watch that. Yeah, we have to watch it. The next thing that opened was the courtyard, Walt Disney Studios courtyard, and guys, they've redone the launch bay courtyard, the launch bay area in the front there, and Jillian actually did a live stream from there, which was really, really cool. She gave us a little tour of the courtyard, and then she went over, and gave us a look at Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets, which has also been redone, and then went over and actually rode the updated version with the Mandalorian of Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run. So lots of good stuff in that live stream if you want to take a look at all that. But in the courtyard, Disney Junior Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live opened May 26th with the courtyard. Also over in Epcot, Soaring Across America opened, and that's of course with a view to our country's 250th anniversary coming up on July 4th. And then this is a big one and much anticipated by Bluey fans. Bluey's Wild World at Conservation Station opened May 26th. So hey Joseph, welcome in. So that is the Hopper. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Hopper premiere. Hopper is a movie that came out earlier in the year. We really enjoyed that one. Did you see it, Keith? We really enjoyed it. So Hopper is, hey Joseph, welcome in. Yeah, I love the fact that you can hold the blasters now. Right, Mike. They were mounted. Now thank you for bringing that up. They were actually mounted on the blasters. We're talking. I know I'm jumping around a lot. We're talking about Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin again. The blasters were fixed. Now they would turn and go up and down, but they were actually fixed onto the vehicle. Now you can take them off and they're free. You can fire at will, so to speak. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Keith. Thanks so much for being here. We appreciate you. But at any rate, where was I? These have already opened. They have opened recently. Some of you, as I said, who've been into the parks have already done some of these and seen some of them. Bluey's Wild World at Conservation Station is one that, okay, and I know that Bluey fans, are really excited about this, and that's great, and it's fun. But I have never been a Bluey fan, y'all. I like it. I think it's cute, but it's not something that's just captivated me. I like Phineas and Ferb much better than Bluey. It's been a really, really popular cartoon show since it's been out how many years? A few years now. Anyway, Bluey has taken over Conservation Station, which is which you take the train over there. And it was formerly Rafiki's Planet Watch. And hey, a lot of people have been going to Animal Kingdom for years, didn't even know it was there, did not know that Rafiki's Planet Watch was even there. So that's wow, that's amazing to me. But still the truth. I have a very dear friend who's been to Disney a lot, and she did not know that there was a train out to Rafiki's Planet Watch in Animal Kingdom. Anyway, so all of that is open now, and I'm sure that with the opening of Bluey's Wild World, that train will be a lot busier now. So that's what's going on, with things that have opened, and I may have actually missed some. These lists are by no means exhaustive. So let's see. Hang on just a second here. Y'all, let me get my bearings. Coming attractions. Okay. These are a few things that I picked out that I know of that are coming soon. And there was one more that recently opened, y'all, that I did want to mention, and that was Test Track 3.0 open. So let's see. I did want to be sure that I mentioned that one too. I happened to think of that one while I was preparing for the show. And Rock and Roller Coaster, of course, starring the Muppets. The Aerosmith overlay was replaced with the Muppets, featuring Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. Coming attractions. Okay, we've still got a lot coming on the board. We've still got a lot coming on the board, y'all, and these are some things that are opening up. Now, the list here is at Animal Kingdom, we've got Tropical America's opening. Of course, it is replacing Dino Land. They're opening Encanto, which is Tropical Americas is like an Encanto area. And of course, Indiana Jones is also replacing the dinosaur ride in that area. So and I'm all for that. I love that idea. Indiana Jones at Disneyland is phenomenal. You've heard me and William talk about that. William and me talk about that before. How phenomenal the Indiana Jones ride is at Disneyland. It's the same ride track as Dinosaur, and so they're just retheming, what have you. I'm okay with this one. I am totally okay with them retheming that to Indiana Jones. Now, do I think it really fits in Animal Kingdom? No, but that just happens to be where the ride is. That's where it is. So they won't have to redo the whole thing. They'll just retheme it because, again, it is the same ride track. Dinosaur and Indiana Jones at Disneyland have the same ride track, just different theming. Makes a huge difference, y'all. Now the Encanto, as far as Tropical America's the Encanto ride, I'm really looking forward to that. Tropical Americas is something, they didn't really have a tropical, an Americas, side. They have, Asia, Africa. They have, other, lands and areas that reflect the animals in each part of the park. Big Thunder, we did not. Thank you. We did not mention that one. Big Thunder is one And I may have had that one in my notes, but I haven't mentioned it yet. Big Thunder. And Big Thunder Mountain, of course, was refurbed and just recently opened. That's a good one, Mike. I'll have to add that one to my slide. But anyway, with Tropical Americas, I'm okay with all of that. I think this is going to be a really pretty area. I do. I think it's just going to be very lush. If we get anything close to the artist's renderings of this area, there should be a lot of shade and water features and that sort of thing. So I'm really looking forward to Tropical Americas. I hope it's very pretty, and I think it will be. So that one, that one looks good. Now the dinosaur area probably needed to be rethemed. It not that I didn't enjoy it, I did. They had a lot of character meet and greets over there, and they had the Boneyard, which was this huge, overhead and tunnels and all the things, play area for children. And so my kids, when they were younger, had a lot of fun in that area. And I love the whole conservation thing and the dino dig, that your kids could, dig for, dinosaur bones and what have you. It was a fun area. And inside Dino Land, of course, were the little carnival top rides. And my husband must have ridden Primeval Whirl with my youngest son Adam about 50 times. They rode that at least 10 times in a row, and and Adam absolutely loved it. And Jeff just got sicker and sicker every time they rode it because the ride operator just let him keep going because Adam was having such a good time. He let him stay on, and by the time they got finished with it, Jeff was thinking, just kick us off this ride. I can't deal with it. But he was trying to hang in there because Adam was having such a good time. So that's Primeval Whirl. If y'all remember that was taken out, one of the first things to go. But most people call it Primeval Hurl, which is probably, pretty accurate. Anyway, I'm okay with that. I think that'll, now, I am, and I guess it's a little late to say this, but the one thing that I would comment on about Animal Kingdom is I hate to see them continue to add more IP and more IP into Animal Kingdom, because Joe Rohde, who is the Imagineer who designed Animal Kingdom top to bottom, wanted it to be, okay, you learn, you have all the fantasy and the other parks and the fun stuff in the movies and the princesses and, at Epcot, you travel the world. He wanted Animal Kingdom to be about real animals. And so to show us and our family something real so that we could, Walt called it edutainment. To enjoy a few rides. I mean, goodness gracious, his Expedition Everest is still phenomenal all these years later, even without the Yeti. But he wanted it to be about real animals and not about cartoon animals. And so and I really wish they would stay true to that. I really do, because Animal Kingdom is such a special place. Do y'all have any thoughts on that? Yeah, absolutely, Mike. That's true. Yes, absolutely. We've never had our side of the world represented. So yeah, I think it might be cool. Oh, hey, Jane Ann. Oh, well, thanks so much. Thanks so much for being here. We appreciate you. So we're all of that I'm good with. I think it's going to be, I think all of that will be really interesting, and it's coming. I hope they do a good job with it. I always hope they do a good job with everything. But then we have okay. So then we have Monstropolis. Now this is going to be over in Hollywood Studios. It's a Monsters Inc. theme. This is going to replace Muppet Courtyard, and Monsters Inc. Is this area is planned and will feature the park's first suspended coaster, the Door Vault, and a vertical lift launch. So I'm really excited. I'm excited about this area. I hope they do a good job with it because this coaster sounds really neat with the Door Vault and a vertical lift. And it's interesting that they're putting this in because when William and I first saw that movie, we made the comment that would make an amazing ride, the doors scene where in Monsters Inc. Sully and Mike and Boo are running from Randall, and they jump onto the doors and they're riding the doors, and so that's going to be kind of like that, and that should be fun, y'all. I think that's going to be fun. And this hasn't been done anywhere else, so this will be unique to Walt Disney World, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all know for sure. Correct me if you know that I'm wrong on that, and it exists at some of the other parks. I don't think that it does. So this will be unique to Walt Disney World. Really looking forward to that one. Although I wish that they had relocated Muppet 3D. I really wish that they had, instead of closing it, I wish that they had relocated it. I think at the time they knew that they were going to retheme Rock and Roller Coaster, and they could have put it, they could have put it over there somewhere and just relocated it over maybe to where the new Villains show is, but they chose not to do that. So Monstropolis is coming. I don't have an opening date on that one. Let's see. The Tropical Americas expansion in Animal Kingdom is supposed to be completed in 2027. And I'm sure the other ones have projected completion dates too. I didn't look. Sorry about that. So Villains Land. Now this one, y'all, is really interesting. Yeah. Right. Now the other movie that William and I said that about, John, was we were watching Harry Potter, the ride through Gringotts Bank, and we said, okay, that ride through the vaults would make a really cool park ride, and it took them a few years, but they eventually made that ride Escape from Gringotts. So yeah, that was the other one that William and I said that about. But let's see, Villains Land. This is something, y'all, that I guess is kind of fan driven. It's going to feature 2 major attractions and dining inspired by classic Disney villains. Now, this one is going to be interesting. They have already begun construction on it. It's over behind Big Thunder Mountain, so there will be an entrance, somewhere over there. And this one, oh, hey, William, good to see you. Was just down to Villains Land talking about.
The rapid fire. Was there a slide before this one? Sorry, I joined late.
Yes, there was, and we'll just back up just a second and see if there's anything.
Yeah, I'll do rapid fire on these.
Yeah, so these are the new ones. Yeah,
Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin. Okay, yeah, I mean, I think, I must say I did successfully achieve. Was it Space Ace?
What is it?
When the maxed out score.
I should know this. Help us out, y'all. We should. We should know that.
It's Galactic Hero. That's what it is. Galactic Hero. I did successfully get Galactic Hero circa December 2009.
Okay.
So
I've never reached it.
Yes, I maxed out the score. I am excited. I think it's really cool, especially for the family bragging rights and that inevitably come with it, that they have your score and your rank on the ride photo. I think that's a really nice touch.
Yes, it is. It is. I've heard about that.
I think, I think, being able to locate your reticle, being able to figure out which dot is yours is also obviously an enhancement. Granted, I've not done this yet, but I think that and adding in the little test animatronic is pretty cool too. So I've not done this yet, but I think that I think that these seem to be improvements. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live. I think they debuted that at California Adventure, and now it's over here. There in the animation courtyard. Didn't do the previous iteration of this. I'm sure the boys would enjoy it, especially probably more Wesley's game now. Granted, of Wyatt's on the verge of with him being 7, he's on the verge of some of the younger Disney Junior stuff falling out of his interest a little bit. But anyway, so I'm we'll check this one out at some point. The Walt Disney Studios courtyard, animation courtyard. It's kind of funny that we went from that was the magic of Walt Disney animation. I think I can't try to remember, something like that was what that launch bay originally was, and then it turned into the Star Wars launch bay. With the Disney trilogy, and had some stuff from The Force Awakens and meet and greets and all that. So I think it's funny that kind of what's old what's old is new again, essentially. Granted it's different this time, but I love the nod to animation. I would love to see them go back and do some more 2D, more 2D heavy animation in future films.
I would too.
But I love some of the videos I've seen. Rapunzel out there playing Duck Duck Goose with some kids in the middle of the green space is just adorable. I hope they keep that. Hope they keep up nice little touches like that once the inside is actually open.
Yes, I do too. Yes.
So I understand she's going to have a meet and greet space within the building, but I hope that they keep up some of those, random interactions. I think there was like a Congo line, also like with a bunch of characters, and so they've done some really fun stuff.
Fun is that for the kids?
Yeah. So there have been some fun videos out there. So I think I love the characters, the statues being around everywhere. I think that's a lot of fun. Jillian did a stream of this. If you want to, if anybody wants to go check out some of the new stuff. Let's see. I think Soaring Across America, I've not watched a ride through yet, but obviously I think it's very appropriate for 250 years of our nation. I think that's a great celebration of our nation. Bluey's Wild World at Conservation Station. Now this one,
and this is what I was talking about.
Yeah, this one. I know. Okay, so here's my dilemma. I feel like in many cases they wait a little too long. They let things bake too long before they roll out an experience. They don't. It's like we said a long time ago with all the Phineas and Ferb stuff. We found one pin, and we were late to the game on Phineas and Ferb. There are a lot of people that were already big into Phineas and Ferb way before it was on our radar. And by the time it was on our radar, we loved it. and we found all of one pin underneath the sorcerer hat to give you an idea of the time period. It was underneath the sorcerer hat shop there in front of the Chinese theater. So that gives you an idea of the timing.
Wow.
And so, I think I found the Perry the Platypus hat that Adam has at like a Hot Topic, maybe in the mall. So I feel like they were kind of late to the game. Now they did have the character meet and greets, and they had their own space at Hollywood Studios. I never met Ferb. I met Phineas, but Ferb went in for a break just before we got there. So that was a bummer. I would love to meet Agent P and obviously
it was, yeah,
and and Ferb, and so anyway. But this one, coming back to this one, I gotta say I can appreciate them striking while the Bluey trend is still pretty hot. I just don't think it belongs here. And this is one that Jillian, and she's a little more open minded on things sometimes, but even she, like, this is insanity. Also, I think the presentation seems super chaotic. It's not really a meet and greet. Like, it's just kind of a free for all. Somebody described it like a Taylor Swift concert for toddlers, which sounds nightmarish. And so I think that the spirit behind it and striking while the iron's hot is good. I think the execution and primarily the location is not great. I would have put this at Hollywood Studios somewhere.
Sure. Absolutely.
And so, and the other thing too is, like, the entire experience isn't rolled out yet, but per my understanding, you're not going to be able to touch these. The people joke that, everything in Australia, all the animals in Australia can kill you. And so I don't think you're going to be able to, like, touch these animals. I think you'll be able to see them from, a decent distance and observe them, but I don't think you'll be able to touch them like you could the animals in the affection section. So that's also a bummer, because my boys, we love petting animals. So anyway, so that's a bummer. I just, I enjoyed the animation experience. Granted, they're moving that to Hollywood Studios, so I'm glad that is going to remain, even though it's going to be, an Olaf animatronic doing the class instead of a live animator. That's a bummer. Not big on that. I'd much rather have, if we're going to do that, you might as well do what we're doing on the cruise, and you just have somebody in there to roll the video. Granted, I do think an animatronic is pretty cool, and hopefully it's operational. I'm sure they're going to have a B mode where they just throw a blanket over him and just run the videos. But anyway, I think the spirit behind this is spirit and timing behind this is great. Execution and location is the problem here.
Yes.
So that's my thoughts on that. And we're not even big Bluey people. I mean, it can be funny, but it's not our favorite thing. We're more of a puppy dog pals and Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and other stuff.
Young Jedi Adventures.
Yeah. Anyway.
Now we also have announced at the Disney Villains Land.
Here, jump forward one slide. I think I was still catching up with you a little bit.
Let's see. No, I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good.
I thought it was
coming attractions. Yeah, coming
there we
attractions.
Go, Tropical Americas, Encanto. I think that this attraction can be really cool. I hope the Lion Queue is really cool. I don't know. I do wonder if you fast forward another 5 years, with the exception of this ride, how relevant Encanto is really going to be. I think they went really viral with the Bruno song, and I think I think they rode kind of metrics related to that. Me personally, I don't think Encanto's an instant classic. And also too, it's kind of confusing. I understand. Okay, Antonio's room. He's an animal guy. I feel like they kind of shoehorned in
Right.
the like,
Right.
we want to do an Encanto attraction. How can we somehow loosely tie this to Animal Kingdom?
Right.
And it's like, oh yeah, the kid that talks to animals.
Right.
Well, let's do
Right.
that. So,
Yeah.
I do think it's got a
Very
lot of potential.
awesome.
I'm the main thing I'm excited about is getting a brand spanking new attraction that's not anywhere else in the world.
Yes.
That's really cool. Indiana Jones, I'm very curious to how they're going to do this because while Dinosaur had the same ride track as Indiana Jones, at least based off of my, the way that I kind of mentally picture the both attractions in my head, I have a really tough time. The dinosaur ride just felt much more enclosed, if you will.
Yes.
And and the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland just feels more wide open. like there's big main area that you come into, and then all the the little side things happen off in these little hallways.
Right.
But the dinosaur ride doesn't feel like that at all. So I wonder if it's going to be kind of like more like a dungeon crawl type thing. And so anyway, I'm curious to see what the execution of this one looks like. And again, I feel like we're kind of, almost felt like they could have kept the Dino Playground because you have Indy and he's an archaeologist, so I feel like they still could have made it work. But anyway, and also too, you've got the little wooden carousel. Okay, that's fine. It's not anything to write home about. I'm sure it's going to be really cute, but interested to see what this land is. When it's all said and done, how well it all meshes together. Because and again, you've got the whole Chester Hester thing previously. You have kind of the archaeologist interns that worked, and you had the Restaurantosaurus with a bunch of neat stuff. The space felt lived in.
Yes.
And I think that was really neat. Also, you pair that with the playground too, and so tie all that together along with the dinosaur ride. I don't think there's a ton of people that necessarily made the full connection and really understood it all, but for those that did, they have a obviously enhanced appreciation for the space. So
exactly.
It's a bummer.
Well said.
It's a bummer. I think that obviously Universal has a leg up in the dinosaur game, just based on the fact that they have the world's biggest dinosaur franchise at their disposal. But anyway, I'm really interested to see how this space turns out. I love getting new stuff, and I love that even the Indy ride, with it being the same track, it's going to be a different experience than what is currently
completely
at the other Indy rides at other locations. Monstropolis. Now this one's interesting. I love Monsters Inc. One of my favorites. I think that they're kind of late to the game on this one. And it wouldn't surprise me if we get some sort of Monsters Inc. retirement home, or we've got we got Monsters University, and we've got Monsters Inc. Then we have Monsters at Work. And so storyline progression, I don't know, but I mean they're milking Toy Story for everything it's worth. So It wouldn't surprise me, given another couple years or so, if we get some sort of other
Mhm.
monsters movie,
Yeah,
and that might have even been announced. I could have missed it, but
yeah,
um,
yeah. I don't think so, but you
yeah,
have a point there.
yeah,
Yeah. We've gotten some good Monsters,
yeah,
Monsters Inc. Content and,
yeah,
in the movies or what have you. But pardon me, I feel like I'm like you. I feel like they're a little bit late to the game on this
yeah.
one. Now, I was telling everybody how when we first saw this ride
I heard you.
and
Yeah,
saw the
but with the
door
doors, that'd
with
be a
the door
perfect
thing
park ride.
and a perfect park ride,
Yep,
right there. And so, and this ride will not exist anywhere else on the
yep,
planet. This is going to be totally new. So I'm really excited to see what they do.
yeah,
I hope this ride is as cool as I envision it to be.
yep.
Mhm.
Hello, Tina. Sorry. Hello,
Yeah.
Tina, Pam. Run through Keith. Let's see. Da-da-da-da. Joseph, Jane and Travels, Mike 88 NYC. Let's see. Hatbox Ghost, what's up, Jerry?
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, the other thing with this one, I still maintain that this is possible. I think this is what's going to happen.
Okay.
And I've proposed that they do this, but I think it's going to actually happen. Um, they've moved the Muppets to Rocket Muppets, Muppets Rock and Roller Coaster featuring the Muppets. From
Mhm.
what I've seen, videos and stuff, they've got some really cute nods to Muppet Vision, and um, I like that. I don't want to spoil it, but anyway, um, I've not ridden it yet, but I've seen some neat videos. So I think this
Mhm.
one, it's fine. I'm gonna miss Aerosmith, but I'll live.
Mhm.
It's like I said before it opened. It's the same coaster. It's
Yeah.
just it's the music that plays along with it and some other visual elements, but it's the same. It's still an incredible coaster.
Yeah, it is.
uh, so it's really just everything around it. I'll miss Aerosmith, obviously, and who knows? They might even for like April Fool's Day or something work in an Aerosmith ride with the Muppets singing
Mhm.
it. Who knows? I think
Yeah.
that'd be really fun. Uh, it's kind of like it'd be like the September thing that they do. Uh, was it the 21st night of September?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Um, let's see. What else was going to say? But oh yeah, back to the point I was making. I do think that why is my the laptop not connected to the internet? Um,
Hmm.
there we go. All right. I think what's going to happen is they're going to open Monstropolis. The courtyard's gone, and really, well, along with the Muppets courtyard, really that was self-inflicted. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. They closed the
Yes.
Christmas shop. They closed
Yes.
the store that was there. So
Mhm.
by doing that, they kept giving people less reason to spend any time in Muppet Courtyard.
Right.
So
And then they declared it an underused space.
yeah, I mean it was the same
Yeah.
song and verse as Tom Sawyer Island, which we'll
Yes.
discuss in a minute. But fast forward, I think what's going to happen is hopefully I don't know how or if it's possible, but whether they could recreate it or not. But I think what will happen is they're going to pick up the villainish, happily or unfairly ever after villainous
Mhm.
show. I think they're going to pick that up and plop that over in Villains Land.
Yeah.
And I would love to see them say, okay, this is the new Muppet Courtyard. Here's the piggy fountain back over next to
Yeah.
that show building where the
Yeah.
villain show is now. Turn
Yeah.
that into Muppet Vision 3D. Bring back the piggy fountain, and then I'm not sure what kind of space they're working with back there, but maybe add some sort of little quick. I know they have the food booth themed after
Right.
the
Right.
Swedish chef over in that
Yeah.
area. Was Jillian got the pond water and said it was really good. I've heard
Yeah.
other people say the pond water is really good, uh,
Yeah.
which is funny. But anyway, um, I would like to see them just say, okay, you know what, this is our new Muppet
Right.
choreography. There you go.
Yeah.
Because my problem with the Muppets taking over Rock and Roller Coaster is that you lose your in. Anybody could do Muppet Vision 3D, but not everybody can do Rock and Roller Coaster. And so,
Exactly.
if you're trying to
Exactly.
introduce a new generation to the Muppets,
Mhm.
you're having to wait till they're 48 inches tall.
Right. Right.
And so, granted, that's still an age to be able to hit kids up, but also you're missing out on the Muppet Babies. There's other kid shows that
Mhm.
you could be introducing the Muppets to the kids already. It's like, oh, I love Muppet Vision 3D. What can we watch? And like, okay, you can show them the movies. Da,
Right.
da, da, da. But anyway, um, yeah, that was one of my main issues with them transforming that space is you got to
Mhm.
be 48 inches tall and be able to ride and be able to and also want to ride a pretty serious coaster in
Yeah.
order to
Oh, that's true.
in order to interact with the Muppet franchise. So
Right. That's true.
um, let's see, but yeah, I'm excited about Monstropolis, but again, I feel like if don't be surprised when the next Monsters movie gets announced, just for a means to keep that IP fresh, if you will.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yeah, they will. And if they do a good job with it, I've got no problem with it.
yeah,
Unlike, Toy Story, Toy Story 4 was totally unnecessary.
yeah.
It was an unnecessary movie, and 5, I don't know, 5, I mean, it may be cute, Toy Story
We
5 may be really cute,
we've got
but,
bald, fat Woody, so I don't know. Uh,
well, I don't care to see bald fat Woody.
yeah,
Uh, I really do not. I mean, toys don't get bald and fat, do
yeah,
they? I
yeah,
mean, anyway, but I was happy with 1, 2, and 3, the perfect trilogy. Stop.
yeah.
Stop and let the masterpiece
The
stand
only
alone. And
the,
they did.
the only way that they can, in my mind, bring it back full circle is to have Bonnie give the toys to Andy's kids.
Yeah.
Or for Andy and his wife to have a kid.
Right.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm not a big time Swifty, not a super high on Taylor Swift or Travis Kelsey for that matter.
Yeah.
So that doesn't move the needle for me, knowing that she'll have a song featured
Yeah.
as part of the soundtrack for this movie. Um, so it doesn't really, that's good. That'll get all the Swifties excited, but I'm not super
Mhm.
pumped about it.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. On to Villains Land. I've said we've talked about this before, but I'll say it again. I don't think this belongs in Magic Kingdom, and really, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it really belongs anywhere per se. I feel like if you wanted to build another park and put it there to give it a go, maybe
Mhm.
maybe you do that. But I think that it's a misstep to include it in Magic Kingdom. Mom and I have talked about this before, and
Mhm.
we agree that we're not sure Walt would have wanted villains
To
to have their
glorify
own, yeah,
to
to have
glorify
their own
them.
land or to
Right.
to celebrate or glorify them. Really,
Yeah.
I think
I
that
think he would find this very strange.
yeah.
Uh, hey, Jonathan, welcome in.
Welcome in, Jonathan. Uh,
Mhm.
but let's see. But yeah, again, very curious to see what the execution looks like on this, and I'm sure we'll learn more at D23.
Yeah. I mean,
But
is it gonna be, again, the execution, is it gonna be dark? Is it gonna be scary? I mean, if, uh, I have a problem with taking, hey, Julio, welcome in. Um, okay, Jonathan, we're about to talk about that. We're not quite there yet, so hold your ire.
yeah,
Um, but I
yeah, keep your
with
torches and
Dylan
pitchforks
Land,
at the ready.
I have a problem with, with my kids watching. watching Sleeping Beauty and watching, the classics, the Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, and seeing these people were called villains for a reason. Okay, they tried to kill our heroes.
Yeah.
I mean, let's think about what happened in these fairy tales, y'all. And they're going to build a land glorifying the villains. I have a problem. I do. I have a problem with it. I have a big problem with it.
Well, I've talked about it before. I think it's
kids, and you're going to say, "Oh, you're going to say, oh, are you team hero or team villain?" I've got a big problem with that. I don't like that at all.
I mean, the people have fallen in love with the gray characters. You can't just have a villain be outright evil. He has to have some sort of troubled backstory. Some sort of troubled backstory to make him more relatable. It's like, well, to have a really good baby face, you have to have a really good heel. You have to have both sides of the coin, and it's like bad guys can just be bad guys, because unfortunately, I think a lot about the Incredibles movie, and I'm not sure that any Disney movie outside of the first Incredibles movie covers villains like this or bad guys like this. But when Miss Incredible, sits down the kids and says, if they can kill you, they will kill you.
Yeah. Do not give them that chance.
Yeah.
They won't show restraint because you're children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that any other property introduces, the antagonist and their forces like that.
Right.
But yeah, it's so anyway, I think this is a serious misstep. And Pam and others may disagree with us, and that's fine. But I just think this is a serious misstep, and what happened here, and I've said this before, is that some kid walked in there and said, "Oh, you know what? We sell an awful lot of merch and an awful lot of tickets to Oogie Boogie Bash, and Mickey's Not So Scary. What if instead of just having these events, from August to October, let's just go ahead and have a spot dedicated to them all year."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm sure they had.
And I'm looking at Universal Studios.
Yeah.
Universal has had a lot of success with Halloween Horror Nights, which I don't go to.
Yeah.
And Pam, I understand. I get what you're saying. Your favorite character is Ursula.
Yeah.
And not that, in order to have a good story, you have to have a great villain. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think about my 3-year-old. I think about my youngest grandchildren. I have one that's 3, one that's 2, and one that's 1. And I can't picture myself taking my youngest grandchildren into this villains area and saying, "Oh, yay, it's, the evil queen." It's, I don't know. To have a whole land dedicated to that.
It definitely feels weird. With it. I mean, because again, you ride the other attractions. It's like, okay, you see Ursula get zapped on the Little Voyage of the Little Mermaid. She's lit up over there in the corner. And I mean, you think about seeing these villains meet their demise.
Right.
And so I just I think that's exactly what happened. Is they said, we sell the X number of tickets a year. If Oogie Boogie Bash sells out pretty quick, as soon as we drop tickets every year, Mickey's Not So Scary is super highly attended. We sell X amount of villains merch. People love villains. Let's just make a whole section for them. I think is exactly how I think that conversation went. So anyway, I think it feels weird. Not a huge fan of it. but anyway, it is what it is. Well, we'll see. I'm still wondering what the execution will look like. So we'll have the jury's still out on this one. I think it's a misstep, but who knows? They could make me eat my hat. But I just, like you said, if you don't like the haunted mansion, or if you're scared of the haunted mansion, you just don't ride the haunted mansion. If you don't like the drop sequence or rides that drop, you don't ride Tower of Terror.
Right.
However, if you got little ones and then are you just going to skip an entire section of a park?
It's kind of hard to say, but I would. Yeah. I can see parents 100% doing that. Just saying we're not going to do that part. And I can, and because I have talked to many, many people kind of, on both sides of this issue, what it boils down to for me is, it's one thing to have them, in the parks, to have, meet and greets, or even Unfairly Ever After, which is a really cute show.
Yeah.
But to dedicate you've just come from, Cinderella Castle and these are the Disney princesses and princes. Everywhere else in the park, we celebrate the heroes.
Yeah.
We want to be the princess. We want to be the handsome prince. We want to, to celebrate good. And this land is dedicated to the evil.
Yeah.
When you take it out, now granted, it's all fairy tale. I get that. But I still have big issues with glorifying the villains. Now, Jonathan is right in that he could Villains Land. Well, now it is kind of going to be its own thing, Jonathan. That is one. They are finally we're getting an expansion
beyond Big Thunder.
Not a re-theme. So because it's going to be over behind Big Thunder. So so it will be on completely new. It is an expansion. It'll be on completely new land. So at least they're not mowing down what's left of Frontierland for it. And I do appreciate that. But okay, see, Mike says he's never thought about it the way we're talking about it. But it's interesting, and then too, y'all, and I love to hear what you think about this. Tell us what you think about this, because you have like think about Star Wars and think about light side, dark side, and how people Boba Fett is a villain.
Yeah.
Initially in the Star Wars franchise, you have people who are genuine fans of Darth Vader. Definitely Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
So to me, that's kind of it may just be more of a recent thing.
Yeah.
Because when I was little, I don't remember anybody glorifying the villains.
Yeah.
At all. That just didn't happen.
Yeah.
When I was a child. But at any rate, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. It'll be interesting to see how well they theme it. Line of sight, how that all works out. Walt was big on line of sight and not being able to see other parts of the park when you're in a certain spot. Hey, Kay, welcome in. Welcome in. Okay. Jonathan says he thinks of it as a teens area with villain things. The youngest kids will have their Magic Kingdom. The older can have the villains fun. I suppose that's true. I suppose that's true. but again, I don't know. I just have. I want Magic Kingdom to be Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
I want Magic Kingdom to be about good and 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 happiness and all the things that it's always stood for.
Yeah.
And
I
to
mean,
me,
I
Villain's
I
Land,
really think about it. I mean, and that's part of what makes Phantasmic so good as a show, because Mickey does overcome. I mean,
right?
what are we? Are we gonna
Yeah,
have unphantasmic where Maleficent
yes.
Dragon just burns Mickey
Eats
to a
everybody.
crisp and then burns the whole theater down. I just uh, you know I
She's misunderstood.
yeah, I know I want Mickey to defeat Maleficent and
Exactly.
bring on the steamboat with all the characters and
Right.
all the heroes and
All the good
yeah,
characters.
that's my favorite. That's my favorite part of the show. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's so anyway,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
different. We'll see what the
It is.
execution looks like. Uh,
It is.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's going to take some serious convincing,
Yeah.
and some serious, seriously incredible execution in order
Yes.
for me to,
Yeah.
eat my hat on this one. Uh,
Right, right.
the Piston Peak, the Cars land that will be inhabiting, what was formerly the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer
Mhm.
Island. Um, I just, they've shown it and they made it look very national park esque. Um, and maybe it's just because I live in the country. But the ATV thing, doesn't necessarily get me super excited because, my older brother has a side by side.
Mhm.
You
Has
know,
more than one,
if
actually.
yeah, yeah, if I wanted to go ride a side by side, I'd just go hang out with him.
Right.
I mean, we have a four-wheeler in the back of the
Yeah,
truck here, and
yeah.
and there's a little bit of maintenance, but get that thing
Mhm.
back up and running.
Oh, yeah.
And I understand that not everybody has, not everybody lives the country life, and maybe this will be, very exciting for some folks, but I with this one, the sight, like you said, sight lines, I feel like are inevitably going to be a problem.
Yes.
Um, you know,
Yes.
I just I watched kind of the mock up of them kind of driving dunes and stuff, and some of the
Mhm.
stuff that they did, kind of researching how that this one's going to work, this attraction's going to work, and I just unless they just do an incredible job, and Fantasmic is a bad idea. uh, oh me. But,
Not so fantastic. Not so
yeah,
fantastic.
was it a nightmare Fantasmic? That's is I think
Right.
what
Yeah, exactly.
what they wanted to turn Mickey's dream into. Uh,
That's it.
but anyway, yeah, I just I'm very confused. I feel like if they would have just copied and pasted Radiator Springs, just because it's so good at Disney California Adventure, I might feel a little differently about this. Maybe. Now, it still would not completely make up for what we were losing.
Right.
Um, but I think I would feel a little differently just because the execution of Cars Land is just phenomenal.
Yes.
Um,
I'm 100% with you on that.
uh, but
100% agree.
I have a tough time, and I know that I understand that people say, um, oh, you want them to do something original, and you always talk about them wanting to do something original. And it's like, okay, but in this situation, I, I think with that space, that particular real estate just does not make any sense to put
Mm-mm.
this specific type of attraction.
Zero. Zero.
Um, you know,
especially for what you took out,
yeah,
which was an oasis in the parks and beautiful and tied
yeah,
in wonderfully with the works of Mark Twain and again Walt's edutainment. It's
yeah,
this to me is a really cheap shot at at doing away with something that was beautiful and wonderful and historic and
yeah,
replacing it with something that is monetizable.
yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I mean, it's back to the revenue per square inch, revenue per square foot. This
Mhm.
look at how much space that the Liberty Bell and the Rivers of America
Yeah.
and Tom Sawyer Island. Look at how much space they take up in Magic Kingdom. How much money are you making out there? Which again, we talked about it before. Just like we mentioned with Muppet
I
Cool.
have all kinds of ways they could have made
Yeah,
money out there, and
yeah.
I've talked about them.
Yeah, I mean, reopening Aunt Polly's,
Yeah.
offering some
Now
other
that's at the
incentives to go
very
out there.
least,
Yeah,
William. That's the very least thing they could do
yeah,
is reopen Aunt Polly's, put a
yeah,
couple of popcorn buckets and sippers over there that you can't get anywhere else.
yeah,
You've got instant traffic. And
yeah,
once people got out there to see, those amazing caves
yeah,
and all of those wonderful trails and how nice it was out there, they're going to go back.
yeah. And I mean, the other thing too is a lot of people had used that area to kind of cool down, like to
Yeah,
from being
decompress. Yeah.
yeah, to decompress and from being kind of overstimulated, having that space to go out to that okay,
Mhm.
there's less people out here, there's less,
Mhm. Yeah.
music and
Yeah.
movement. Like it's just a
Mhm.
different vibe out there. And now,
Mhm.
it's all being ripped out for an ATV ride. So
Right,
um
right. Yeah.
uh, it's just very puzzling. Again, they've with the updated the more recent kind of artist rendering of the space makes it look like there's going to be kind of a little bit more water flow through there.
They're trying to
Um,
convince us of that
yeah.
anyway. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
just, again, I think sight lines could be a real problem here unless they just have like a ton of trees to, I just, that view kind of around the bend to the mansion is
Mhm.
just going to be different. Um,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
anyway, it's, I'm confused
Uh,
on this one, but again, eh, as I've said before, I'll be glad to be wrong if they
mhm.
somehow manage to win me over with this one. But
Mhm.
it's just I can remember reading, I think it was like ninth or 10th grade, reading Tom Sawyer for school,
Mhm.
and then for the for my summer project, and then going out there to Tom Sawyer Island was really neat.
Mhm.
Um, so anyway, it's
Well, and we had the pleasure, William, we had the distinct honor
yeah,
of interviewing, Mr. Tom Nabby,
yeah,
who played Tom Sawyer Island
yeah,
at Disneyland.
yeah,
Um, you know, and uh there are, they changed Tom Sawyer Island at Disneyland to be Pirate Island. And then here, when just not long before they closed Tom Sawyer Island here, um, uh, I always want to say Mr. Nabby, and he told me to call him Tom.
yeah,
Um, um, and I have called it by his first name, his proper first name before,
yeah,
um, but Tom, I'll tell you, there are videos out there, guys. If you search Tom Nabby, and I've shared them on our social media pages, where he went into the park one last time to
yeah,
visit Tom Sawyer Island. The man's in his 80s.
yeah,
Um, and it is just heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking, to see him go to that part of the park again. And we've talked about this. We talked about it, when it was all going on. But this is one more blow to Frontierland that is that is just a really hard strike.
Yeah.
That this one pretty much finished me off, just to be honest.
Yeah.
And so Cars Land, it's as you said earlier, Cars Land would have to be as impressive as Cars Land in Disney California Adventure, which it's not going to be.
Yeah.
Because there's not space for it. They're shoehorning it, and it's all about money, guys.
Yeah.
It's all about money.
Selling lightning lanes and premier passes.
Yeah. Don't let any of this fool you. They did the same thing with Splash Mountain. It was a different ball game over there. I will have to say that. But this is all about money.
Yeah.
It just is. Hey, Robert, welcome in.
Welcome in.
And it breaks my heart that they would rip out this historical, amazing, place where you could take your kids and teach them about, an iconic author in Mark Twain, and in Frontierland as a piece of Frontierland, and replace it with a cartoon car.
Yeah.
That. Thank you, Pam. How sweet of you. I appreciate that. Pam has posted the link to our interview with Tom Nabby. At any rate, that.
But that's the other thing, is it was highlighting, a classic piece of American literature, and now we're now we've wiped it out for some made up car space that we've never actually seen on. In any other media. I think it might have been alluded to in like the Planes movie, like Fire and Rescue. I think they might have been name dropped, but I don't think they actually visited there. So, it's for sure it's a head scratcher. And again, I can appreciate trying to do something new. I just don't think this makes a ton of space or a ton of sense to put in this space. It seems like a very strange place to try this at.
Well, and that's kind of the trend, William. That's been a trend. Okay, all of these things.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been going to the parks. My first trip to Walt Disney World was probably when I was 7 years old. So I went to the parks as a child. Then, as you boys got older, Dad and I took y'all into the parks, and now we're taking our grandchildren. We're taking your kids into the parks. Okay. That is something that Disney has always been really good at, is understanding how to balance the nostalgia with technology, with tomorrow.
Innovation and updates.
Innovation.
Yeah.
Here you leave today. Here you leave the world of today and enter a world of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy.
Yeah.
Yesterday is Frontierland, y'all.
Yeah.
Anyway, this one, we'll see what they give us. I think it's going to be really, I mean, people have photographed this area. It's just a gorgeous area. It's an oasis in the parks, and one of the most beautiful areas of the parks. But it's not. It wasn't monetizable. That's what this whole thing is about, and that angers me about as much as anything. Here's my thing, and I'll we'll move on to something else. But I cannot imagine walking into Frontierland and instead of hearing the Liberty Bell and seeing her, hear her bell and seeing her, kids, trying to cross the Bell Bridge and laughing, and, people on the rafts and what have you. You see big plastic mountains and a ATV ride. And I don't care how well they do with it. That's what it's going to be. So, and there's no way to bring it back. There's no way to go back. It's a done deal. So, Anyway, I have a big problem, and I have really struggled with that one, y'all, because Magic Kingdom is not Magic Kingdom without Tom Sawyer Island. It's just not. So not not for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um,
On to, but wait, there's more. On to the Carousel of Progress updates, and I for those that cannot see
one
my
more
finger.
thing.
Oh, okay, go
We
ahead.
have Mike's comment here, and Mike, I
Yeah.
get that. Now you could
Yep.
get onto the island. You could get onto the island, but the other piece to that is that the Liberty Bell, and I had a friend of mine mention this to me. The Liberty Bell was one of the only rides in the park where you could just roll straight onto it. If you were in a scooter or a wheelchair or whatever, you didn't have to transfer, nothing. You just could roll. So it was very, very accessible.
Yeah.
So, and it's gone now. So yeah.
Let's see here. On to the Carousel of Progress updates. Use that term loosely. Let's see here. So
that's why it's in quotes.
Yes, Disney Parks blog up 6 days ago, and I still have not read this in full. I will be full disclosure. I still hadn't read this full because I'm so frustrated about it. And I had full disclosure. I had a back and forth with one of the not really even influencer page. I would say there's a fan page out on Facebook that puts out occasional who will remain nameless. I had a back and forth with whoever runs this particular page on Facebook, and it was really insulting, frankly. For them to say, "Oh, well, I don't understand why people are upset about this," and they made fun of anybody that has ever suggested that a ride might need a little bit of an update. And then being upset that they update it. I had a back and forth, and I finally, frankly, I'll be straight up. I removed my comments. I removed my reactions to this specific post, and I went ahead and just blocked that page because they were very insulting to me. I think they have like 70,000, 75,000, subs. I'm sure after the way that they made a fool of themselves on that specific post, that they probably lost me and some other people too, because they were very,
condescending.
Very condescending. And I thought, man, this is a pretty classless way to talk to people. People have, here's my thing. You don't have to love, and I don't know why people don't understand this. You don't have to love every single update that Disney makes. You don't have to love every new project that they're putting out. Now, is it fair to at least experience it and then, say whether or not you liked it? Sure. I've done Country Bear musical jamboree twice. I don't love it. I
been right all the time.
Yeah, they're cute.
It's a stinker.
There are cute aspects of the show, but I prefer the old version of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I at least experienced it twice. Granted, I watched it and knew that I hated it, and then watched it in person and to see whether or not it moved the needle for me and all, and it really didn't. But to completely, and I can understand there are people that are way too critical of every single thing Disney does.
Yeah.
But there's also people that are not critical at all of what they're doing. Do you love paying more money?
I believe our friend Josh refers to those people as toxically Disney positive.
Yeah. I mean, do you enjoy paying more for less?
Right.
do you enjoy paying for lightning lanes for something that used to be included in the cost of admission?
Yeah.
Do you like that? I don't. Uh, and neither does my bank account.
Right.
And so, that's just one example, and there are people out there that will just, stand and applaud them for everything. So it's, with this one really put a damper. I went on the Disney Wish, with my family. That first day of the trip, I was tired. Our youngest Wesley was tired. Because we had done the Universal Park day before that. And so that paired with this news about the Carousel of Progress really put a damper, if I'm being honest, on the first day of my cruise. Just because I was thinking to myself, if they'll do this to the Carousel of Progress, nothing's off the table.
Right.
I you could just go ahead and drop a landmine on It's a Small World and they won't care. Because and what's funny is, and me and Mom talked about this off the record earlier. One of the first times I can remember me and Mom having an in-depth discussion about a piece of Disney news. And I told Mom, I can still remember seeing this on my laptop screen with the headline. And I don't know who covered it, which news source it was, but it was a serious point of contention for Disney fans. And that it's not the same. Social media wasn't around back then. This predated social media, to the extent it is today, at least. But I'm sure there were probably website forums out there with fans out there, posting in chats and stuff. But the first time I can remember having a really in-depth discussion about something controversial for a classic Disney attraction was when they made the announcement that Disneyland would be adding characters, intellectual property characters to It's a Small World. And that predated our channel by a lot.
Jonathan is making some good observations here.
What's it saying?
They have announced, in case you don't know, they have announced, and in all fairness, y'all, I have not read all of the articles about it because I didn't even want to hear it. It just I thought this is gonna just that they are this is gonna completely change the ride.
It was 2009. I was in high school. It was 2009 when they debuted the characters, the additional characters into It's a Small World.
That was a huge deal. I mean, that was a huge. People didn't want that classic attraction, change. They didn't want IP in there because there's never been IP in there. So they're going to change the time periods. They're going to quote update the ride and change the time periods. What else have you read, William, about it? They're adding a Walt Disney animatronic.
I'll read directly from the website here in a second.
Go right ahead, please.
Let's see. Thank you, Pam. I really appreciate that. Pam said, "Wow, I can't believe they're insulting to you. I have a very different opinion on villains than you all do, but I agree to disagree. I'd never be insulting because of it. I love you guys." Yeah, thanks, Pam. Yeah, and that's the thing, I'm open-minded enough related to the parks to where, if somebody can make a really good point or really really compelling argument that I can at least consider it, or, respect their decision. But that they were completely out of line, And that's why I removed any engagement that I had with that page on that post,
Mhm.
because I didn't want
Yeah.
them to get the credit for that. And I
Right.
blocked them just because I was not putting up with that foolishness. I didn't want to give them the time of day if that's how they're going to treat people who
Right.
don't see
Agree
eye
with
to
you.
eye eye to eye with them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I wasn't rude. I made my points, and then they backfired and were really snarky. And I said, you know what, I don't have time for this. There are plenty of places to get Disney news,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
there are plenty of other pages. And I've had discourse with other pages that I disagreed with them on, but they weren't tacky to me, and so I
Right.
still follow those pages. I can think of one in particular where I didn't see eye to eye with them, but hey, they weren't
Right.
rude to me. They responded to me and gave their perspective on it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we were both fine. So,
Mhm.
um,
So what is the description?
so here's the description. Act one will be the 1960s. When the show first opened at the World's Fair, its story began by looking back about 60 years into the dawn of a new era. Now, more than 6 decades later, the new iteration mirrors that idea, starting 60 years back from today in the 1960s. In the summer of 1969, our carousel family, along with millions around the world, gather around the television to witness one of humanity's greatest achievements, the historic moon landing. Filled with awe, the moment captures the spirit of innovation and possibility that has always been and always will be at the heart of the carousel of progress. Now, here's the kicker. You know good and well that by them adding that to this ride means that they're going to pull that out of Spaceship Earth at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I mean, and they've talked about making updates to Spaceship Earth way before they ever mentioned any updates to Carousel of
Oh, yeah.
Progress.
Oh, yeah.
But they also knew that they were going to have Epcot torn up for way longer than it should have been, and
Right.
so they
Right.
pumped the brakes on
They
that
backed
update.
off on that. Yeah, they
And
backed
so
off on it.
now, who
'Cause they
knows
were gonna
what they're
close
going to do to
Spaceship Earth
Spaceship
during
Earth?
the 50th.
Do what?
Remember,
Yeah,
guys? They were gonna close Spaceship Earth during the 50th
yeah,
for updates,
yeah,
and at the time, it was Walcott. I mean, Epcot was
yeah,
affectionately known as Walcott, and
yeah,
so they did have the good sense to back off that one.
yeah.
But, yeah, you're 100%
Surprisingly.
right. Yes.
Uh, but that I think this absolutely means that scene's no longer going to be featured in the Spaceship Earth once they eventually circle back around to updating Spaceship Earth. Um, so anyway, I know you're nostalgic about this time period because you can remember that. But
Mhm.
also too, my main problem with this is that, well, understand that Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress has undergone some, just like the narration says. Our family has seen some updates through the years, but it's still
Right,
the same show.
right,
Uh,
right.
it's Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, in my opinion, with this new iteration of the ride, you might as well strip Walt's name off of the attraction because it ain't his.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Uh,
This is theirs.
yeah.
Now that's a valid point, William. It's
Um,
not his anymore.
yeah.
It's not.
And so
Uh,
anyway, I wish that this. I understand the equipment's old. It's hard to keep this. It's hard to I mean, there's no telling how many of the pieces and stuff they've just had to figure out how to engineer in house
yeah,
because
yeah.
the company that
But they're
made
no
the
longer
parts for it,
sold or whatever.
have,
Yeah.
have gone out of business years ago or were acquired, or were
Mhm.
acquired by Disney to build the parts specifically for this attraction to keep it running. I
Mhm.
understand it needed TLC. I just, I've even seen people say, "Hey, pick the thing up and move it back across to Disneyland so we can have it." Um,
Right,
you know,
right,
build your updated carousel of progress.
right,
It
right,
move it or keep it on one of the coasts. Um,
right.
so anyway, my main problem with this attraction is the updates that you see in the carousel of progress from a day-to-day perspective are much more drastic in the time periods featured
Yes.
in Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. To think of all the wiring running through the house, and blacking out the whole neighborhood, and
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Old
ice,
cars.
big block of ice in the ice box,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Rover, licking out the drip pan. I just, the changes through those decades are much more drastic than what we're going to see as we move
Oh,
from
yeah.
the 1960s, 80s, the new millennium, and the possible future. So anyway, circling back, so I already read you the 1960s will be Act 1. Act 2 is the 1980s. It's the 1980s where everything is bigger, everything bigger is better, and things keep on getting bigger. We pick up with the family on Halloween night of 1985, and for the first time ever, Sarah is taking center stage. She'll share how all the new appliances and gadgets are making life easier for the whole family. Speaking of John, we'll find him out on the porch handing out candy to trick-or-treaters, and poor Uncle Orville can be found in the bathroom with no privacy around here. I'm glad that they're keeping that gag. But anyway, we've gone
And
from
the voice of
60s.
hopefully they will keep the voice of the iconic and legendary Mel Blanc.
Yeah. 60s to 80s to now Act 3, the new millennium. With the 90s drawing to a close, our carousel family is preparing to ring in the new millennium on New Year's Eve, 1999. Amid the exciting countdown, so we're going to get into Y2K here. Amid the excitement of the countdown to 2000, the new thing called the internet is bringing John, Sarah, Jimmy, and Patty around the world closer together than ever before. If you're anything like my family, not everyone is making it to midnight. Grandma has already nodded off before the big countdown, while Grandma sneaks the TV over to wrestling when no one's looking. And it's funny because I've heard that in the concept art that some of the influencers have seen already is that it features The Rock on the wrestling TV.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And I have to say,
That's all recent history.
yeah. And I have to say, not late 90s, early 2000s wrestling was mid Attitude Era, and that absolutely is not Disney friendly.
No.
So anyway, Act 4, the possible future. As we reach the end of the end of our show, we see the family one last time in the distant future in an out of this world home, from from a helpful robot assisting with everyday tasks to space travel. The scene imagines a future where extraordinary innovation has become part of life and proves that a big, beautiful tomorrow, or a beautiful tomorrow, is just a dream away. To help bring this new finale to life, Imagineers look back at original concept sketches by Disney legend John Hinch, drawing inspiration from his imaginative view of the future, which the concept artwork looks fairly similar to kind of the same vibes that you get from Spaceship Earth, the little video that comes up afterwards.
Right.
So anyway, Jonathan
makes a good point here. Unless it's progress of music or something, but progress of important things in the world's universe, we see about how internet inserted. But for now, we're losing the progress of life.
Yeah. Well, I jokingly said in one of my comments, going back and forth with this page who will remain nameless. I said, well, they might as well take the last scene and make everybody morbidly obese and addicted to technology, just like in WALL-E. I said, because that's unfortunately that future is looking more and more likely as we move along. And also too, we know how much they love to inject IP into everything.
Right. Yeah. I just, I thought it was neat for, for children. And this is, this is me talking because they're starting in the era where I was born.
Yeah.
Okay. I was born in the 60s. Um, it was always so much fun to me to see those earlier eras, to see the early, a lot of the, the innovations. He talks about cars and,
Yeah.
the Wright brothers flight and different things. And
It'll
I
never
don't,
work.
we have, yeah, it'll never work. We have, it's like we're just for some reason, why are we ignoring the early parts of our country's history? Again, I think it goes back to what you were saying, William. They might as well take Walt Disney's off of it,
Yeah.
because this is not Walt Disney. This will not be none of, from what they're changing everything. So how
Yeah.
is this still Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
I do have to say there is a poster. They have a poster on the Disney Parks blog page that I'm reading all this from. And it does have Walt Disney's name pulled off on. I'm not sure which they have two sides here, and it says, "I'm also first look at the new attraction poster. I'm also excited to share a first look at our new attraction poster that pays homage to the original poster created for his Disneyland debut. Just like the attraction itself, the design reflects both where we've been and where we're going." And so I want to say, I'm guessing the picture on the left was the original one for Disneyland, and then on the one on the right does have Walt Disney's name stripped off of it. So I guess I'm assuming the one on the right is the one that the one that they're talking about.
Okay, and let's think about that for just a second here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I could show you. Let's see.
Okay, they have literally. Okay, think about the.
Again, I'm not sure on. Yeah.
Of changing something to the point that you strip an original. This is Walt's baby. This is Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. How important is it from a historical standpoint? From a, if you want to, I'm okay with putting the Walt animatronic in there. Go ahead. I think that's fun. As an update, to go ahead and put the Walt Disney animatronic in there. Update the last scene, refurb the other scenes, and leave it alone. And that way, it is still Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. But they are slowly but surely destroying the pieces of the park that still bear Walt's fingerprints. And that is disturbing to me.
There you go. I'll show y'all what I'm looking at here. Hold on a second. So yeah, I'm not sure. Again, I read what it says. It says, "I'm also excited to share a first look at our new attraction poster that pays homage to the original Carousel of Progress poster created for its Disneyland debut. Just like the attraction itself, the design reflects both where we've been and where we're going." And let me see if I can zoom out a little bit here. Look into it. There's the one.
Okay.
And here's the other one. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is supposed to be the new one or not, but you can see his name's missing at the top.
It is.
So, I mean, at least they're assuming that's how it's actually supposed to be laid out, and the one on the right is for for the new attraction. At least they had the nerve to pull Walt's name off of it.
Right. Right. And they should.
Yeah.
They should. Wow. That just hurts my heart, y'all.
Yeah.
That just and think about in the a couple of things in the queue line where they show Walt Disney talking about the Carousel of Progress, and they play, the footage of him, playing with the animatronic and talking about, the 1964 World's Fair, all of that. It's historic. It's part of Disney history. The 1964 World's Fair, y'all, was pivotal for the Disney company. Walt saw that opportunity and he took full advantage of it. But the other thing is Kylie, and I often go back to my children's response to things. I don't know if Adam knows this yet or not, William, but he may resort to pitchforks and torches.
Yeah, he may chain himself to the ride like I was going to do with
I know
Bear Jamboree.
Right? Because y'all, my ringtone for my youngest son on my phone is "There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow" because he loves Carousel of Progress so much. So, and Kylie, the other piece to that is the first time Kylie ever saw it, she started, when we got off the ride, she started asking me questions about the earlier scenes.
Yeah.
She started asking me questions about the old cars and, he talks about a sarsaparilla. She started asking me questions about things that she had said. Well, that's what Walt wanted.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of the ride.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of the ride is to be a historic account of an American family through the ages.
Yeah.
Like I said,
just like Jonathan says here, it's the progress of man and family life through the lens of the American family. Yeah. And that's the other thing you mentioned this earlier, Mom, is that of all the rides of all the rides to take down during the 250th anniversary of our nation, why in the world are we taking down the Carousel of Progress?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
During our 250th birthday, a couple of days after the 4th of July, the last day to see this, y'all, is, I've got it in the notes there, William.
It's right here. It's right here on the screen. July 6th. July 6th, beginning, it'll be unavailable. So the last time you can experience it is July 5th. It will be unavailable starting July 6th, and it will reopen in 2027 at some point.
So we're going to, during our country's 250th birthday, we are taking out the most iconic ride in the park that celebrates the American family. Second only, I would say, to the Hall of Presidents.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the American Adventure at Epcot. You have and then you have the Hall of Presidents and the Carousel of Progress, and I mean, none of those three. Again, they don't have me in charge, but I would absolutely be telling people that, hey, guess what? Of all of the attractions that don't need to be down,
it's that exactly
for this calendar year, it needs to be these.
Yes.
And you could throw in Soarin' too, since it's soaring over America. So
that's true.
Anyway,
and they will not be down.
Yeah,
they will not. And we will stockpile parts, and we will have somebody there constant. These 100%, William. These rides will not go down during the year 2026.
Yeah,
in the parks, they will not. And they're just. I'm sorry, this just don't make no sense to me. To quote a line from "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
Yeah, and that's the other thing. That's the other thing that upsets me, Tina. Is this one was a rug pull? They announced this 6 days ago and said, "Guess what? You have a week. You have a month and a week to try to sneak in a trip to experience this." You know, and that's the other thing too. They strategically made this announcement before. When is D23 this year? Let me look it up. Hold on. That's in August, right? I think.
I believe so. Yeah.
26.
So that. Yeah. This is
August 14th to 16th. Yeah. I mean, they're 100% banking on people not being as angry by the time August rolls around. It's man, it's like I said, I was honest with you at the beginning of the show, and whenever this announcement was made, again, it sounds silly, but it really did put a damper on my day. Because here I am. I've spent a ton of money to get on this cruise ship. Jillian's been she's been wanting to bring the family on a Disney cruise. She did her first one, did the Magic last year. She's wanted to bring the family on a Disney cruise for a long time now. And I have wanted to do it. I just, I'm a big parks guy. And that's another part of the reason why this is so frustrating, is because I love the parks. I love the history. I love,
it would appear so, Tina. I'm behind in chat, so sorry.
And anyway, it put a real damper on my day, and I said to myself, I'm just gonna have to put this out of my mind, because I spent way too much money on this cruise to have a bad time.
Well, the reason that hurts our hearts so badly is because it's, again, this one, y'all. If they're willing to gut this one and take Walt's name off of it, just the fact that they're going to take Walt's name off of it, and from the looks of that of those pieces of art, they are, then nothing is sacred anymore.
Yeah.
Which we probably already knew, but to literally change the ride and pull Walt's name off of it, to me, is sacrilegious if you're a Disney fan.
Yeah. Somebody had tweeted, if Walt Disney Imagineering is willing to go this far with Carousel of Progress, just imagine what the inevitable Spaceship Earth overhaul looks like.
Yeah.
Somebody was being snarky on one of Braden's, Sir Braden is his Twitter /X handle, and he runs Mickey Views. But somebody had responded to him saying, fighting for a perpetually empty attraction, referring to Carousel of Progress, to stay the same forever is exactly why Disney Twitter is so detached from reality. Somebody responded to their snarky tweet and said, yes, I'm sure depicting the 80s and Y2K is really going to bring in all the crowds.
Right.
Oh goodness.
Well, and perpetually empty is not even true. That's not even true. I wish that they, again, add that Walt animatronic. I think that'd be great. That would bring in, people to see that. I would love to see that. And then update the last scene and leave it alone.
Yeah.
And then it's still Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. But the fact that it appears they're going to pull his name off of it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
It really does. And tells me the lengths that they'll go. They just don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. And without Walt Disney, y'all, it's just a theme park.
Yeah.
Just a theme park. So, and we've said that before. We've said that before too. John, Yes. Let's see. I was looking here. Yeah, I think it is. Okay. So, Adventures by D, let's see. Give me a second here. Dave made a comment. Sorry, my contact lenses are getting dry, y'all.
I got it here. Carousel Progress. This is an interesting one. Yeah. So Tina said that's a copy of Spaceship Earth. Talking about it. Let's see. Yeah, that's Jonathan says show the creation of fire to a stove, to a future talking stove to a replicator. I know Star Trek like the era gaps are spread out and stark enough.
Hi, Dave.
We're still in a technological era gap. That isn't big enough, which is the point that I made to Mom earlier. Let's see. Adventure by D says, this is an interesting one of Walt's originals, been in both Disneyland and Walt Disney World in current form. I'm not against an update, mainly because the ending scene needs to be adjusted to an updated future, which, yeah, again, I mean, I think that's fine. And, they have made tweaks over time to the end scene.
They have.
Let's see. Get here. Yeah, like Jonathan said, it's the progress of man and family life through the lens of the American family, not the progress of kids spoiled with tech to have fun. Jonathan, goodness gracious. Let's see. Jonathan says, I'm an 80s kid, love the 80s, but I don't know if I want want 80s a full section. Each section should be important to the progress of the world, not just fun stuff people did. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Granny will cheer on wrestling supposedly, which she already does, but it'll be the '90s instead of, the very early days.
I'll be honest with you, that does not thrill me.
Yeah.
I don't care about watching her watch The Rock. I can watch The Rock. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, you could go on YouTube and watch it. The wrestling match she was watching was much older.
Yes.
Get him a lift, you big lug.
Yeah.
But welcome in, Dave. Here. Yeah, Jonathan says, I understand the 80s is so influential to how the world is today, but that takes a documentary and an encyclopedia of professors discussing the effects, good and bad. The show won't show the gravitas at 5 minutes worth of featuring it. Jonathan likes the artwork.
Yeah, well, that's and here's the other piece to this puzzle, y'all. We all have such high hopes for Josh tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this is the first big announcement since he took over the reins of the Walt Disney Company. To say that I don't even know what word to use. Disappointed is an understatement.
Yeah.
I had hoped that he would restore some sanity. And maybe this was in the works long before he took over the reins, but I just this total gutting and changing the decades and the whole thing. It's
I mean, it's kind of like
okay, Walt Disney, his influence on Tom Sawyer Island, Country Bird Jamboree, Pirates of the Caribbean, all the things, Haunted Mansion even. But this one literally bears his name.
Yeah.
This one literally bears his name, and they're going to take it off.
Yeah.
That tells me all I need to know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and another
Um,
thing. So Tina says, "I love it too." Talking about Carousel of Progress, some people think it's a nap, but I love history and the value the importance of
mhm.
it. And that's Mom and I talked about this earlier off, outside of the show. You know, the people that just drop in to ride this ride for a break from the AC,
Yeah,
and they have no, they have no respect for the attraction or its
yeah,
history, and or,
yeah,
or the story that's being told in front of them.
yeah.
What is the longest running, one of the
Stage
longest running
show,
stage
and
shows.
there yes, yeah, but it's not gonna be that because it's not gonna
Yep,
be running anymore.
yep,
It's the longest okay, it's um, the longest running stage show in the history of American theater, having entertained audiences for over 60 years since its debut. So there's the record is broken.
yeah,
If they're gonna take it down, the longest continuously running stage show in American history. They're willing to trash that record as well,
yeah.
right?
It's been periodically updated. The last major update was in 1994. Um, but yeah, I mean it's pretty wild. Longest running definition: the show holds this title because it is run continuously with relatively few long term closures, far exceeding the total number of performances of typical theatrical runs, including those on Broadway. Um, but yeah, I mean it's crazy. The attraction debuted at the 1964-1965 World's Fair, New York World's Fair's Progress Land. They relocated it to Disneyland in 1967 before finding its permanent home in the Magic Kingdom in 1975. It's a 20 to 21 minute rotating theater show that runs continuously with over 32 animatronic figures.
Um,
If
it,
you,
it was Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress straight from the 1964 World's Fair,
yeah.
and they're ripping it out unceremoniously.
Um,
And with that,
let's
another
see.
one bites the dust.
Yeah.
So,
Let's see.
yeah.
Coming out here. I'm sorry, I'm reading through the
So,
comments here. Yeah, Jonathan says uh, if they change Tiki Room, that might be the last straw because they were supposed to refurbish it as it's old, needs care, but that just means it's going to change, even though they say now it's just a refurb.
mhm.
Um, Jonathan says the updated future is the Horizon Space Home. Same narrator too. Uh, let's see. Yeah, they'll use Josh D'Amaro to try to soften the blow
Mhm.
at D23.
Well, and that ship has sailed, by the way.
Yeah,
Using Josh tomorrow to soften the blow, that ship
yeah.
sailed.
Now he's the guy. They're gonna have to
Now
find a
he's
new.
the guy.
They're
Exactly.
gonna have
Now
to
he
find a new scapegoat. There's
that's right.
yeah,
Yep.
they're going to have to find a new scapegoat. Some young kid to to fill his old role of
Uh-huh.
delivering the bad
Yep.
news.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Jonathan, it's like Jonathan says, it was history that you didn't have to be an American to understand, and all
Yeah.
it's about the American rat race and boxing on the radio with American adventure, American inventions. Yeah, uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
it is wild to think that of
Well, it
all
was
the times,
introduced for the World's Fair.
yeah, of all the
It was
time,
introduced for the
you know,
World's Fair. People like foreigners coming to the World's Fair as well as
yeah,
Americans.
yeah. So it's just crazy to think about how they're handling this.
Yep.
Um, so, I mean, what can you do? I've been bummed about it. And it's like you said, for a long time they were really concerned with honoring the past and nostalgia, and there being certain things that you could experience
Yeah.
with your kids and then your
Right.
grandkids.
Right.
I mean, some people even great grandkids, but now it just does not. You know, it's
Nothing is sacred.
yeah, it's obvious that you know they don't really have that as being a priority anymore. Um,
No,
they're not concerned with you know the treatment of iconic attractions.
right,
You know,
right. Because they have no respect for them.
yeah,
There is no respect for, I mean, you walk over to that area of the park and you see Walt's name on that ride, and oh, we just need to get rid of all this. We just change all this. We just
yeah,
rip this out. The disrespect is infuriating to me.
yeah,
Um, I just, Walt Disney, y'all, Walt Disney is an important. He's not just a guy who created theme parks. Walt Disney is an important figure in American history. He did so many important things. His theme parks, yes, he used the theme parks to teach history. He wanted to, I mean, goodness gracious, to advance, his Imagineers created. If he had an idea, and he'd go to Bob Gurr, John Hinge, and say, "Can you make this work?" And they'd said, "Sure, we can, Mr. Disney,"
yeah,
without having a clue how they were going to do it.
yeah,
Um, Walt Disney is an iconic figure in American history,
yeah,
and his parks are a reflection of him. So when you disrespect or you don't understand his balance of his love of history, his love for the country, his love of fantasy and storytelling, and his love for innovation. When you don't understand that balance, you do not need to work at Disney.
yeah,
Period.
yeah. That's the other thing I thought about earlier today. That after we talked, Mom, is I would hate to be on the team that that's been tasked with this. Uh, I
Right.
I could, frankly, I couldn't work on it in good conscience.
Uh-uh.
Um,
Oh, well,
I would,
exactly.
I would have to be asked to move to a different project because I couldn't, I absolutely could not lift a finger to especially not to make this drastic of a change. Um, yeah, and I know there's all the quotes out there. And like you said, people have talked about certain quotes, and ad nauseum. But it's, I mean, there's no question that Walt understood, history and like you said, had an appreciation for our country. And I mean, and it's this attraction in its current form, points to that. The great innovations, and looking, trying to look ahead to what a potential future could look like. That optimism, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and so
Absolutely.
that spirit of ingenuity
Yeah.
and innovation. Um, I yeah, I this one hurts my feelings quite a bit.
What
Um,
if you were the person, so you make an excellent point there. What if you were on the team that was selected to rip this stuff out? Think about that, William.
yeah,
What if you were on the team that says, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna rip all this out. We're gonna completely redo," you know, uh, it's just, I mean, I can't
I
imagine.
mean, people have talked about they've got to preserve the sets, but I just don't.
I don't. Disney does not really do that.
I
Sometimes they
know.
don't. I mean, many times, so much of Disney history and memorabilia. I think uh, the hat is gone, which was the icon of Hollywood studios. Um, Spectral Magic was allowed. We have it on good authority and from a strong source that Spectral Magic was allowed to stay out in the weather to the point that it fell into disrepair and decay.
Yeah.
The parade floats. Anyway.
I mean, yeah,
So
people
they don't have a
have
good track record in that.
yeah, I mean, people have gotten drone footage and stuff of the, some of the Dino Land stuff just sitting backstage being
Mhm.
exposed to the elements. Yeah, I just, it's hard to believe that they could take, I say this, but also at the same time, it's not really hard to believe based off of other updates they've made over time. But it's hard to believe that you could take something like this that actually has Walt's fingerprints on it
Yeah.
and just completely scrap it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
says that they're gonna, they're still gonna have the song between scenes, but I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah. Yeah. And they will probably have, they'll probably have, have some, other group re-record it.
yeah,
Because God forbid we should leave any nostalgic piece.
yeah. So
So
it's yeah, this one, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but this one's a really tough one.
yeah.
Especially knowing that. I mean, it's on par with the Muppet Vision 3D, Jim Henson, you
Yeah.
know, uh,
Well, and even more so because it's Walt
yeah,
Disney.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I know this wasn't
Yeah.
the last thing Walt worked on, but to know that he had an direct influence, and
Mhm.
gave guidance on this, it's just, yeah, it's definitely a gut punch for sure.
Right.
And
Right.
I mean, the other part too of the the timing, a that it's happening, b the timing with it being our nation's 250th birthday, and c, oh, and by the way, it's going to be the day after.
Right.
The last time you get to experience it is less than 2 months away,
Yeah.
from this
Yeah.
announcement. Is criminal.
Yeah. Yep.
It's absolutely criminal.
Yep.
Um, so yeah,
Mhm.
I'm glad that we have it's heavily featured on our channel. We've
It
streamed
is.
it a lot. Yeah, that's people have talked about moving stuff to Walt's museum. Um, but anyway, it's I wouldn't be able to work on this in
No.
good
Uh-uh.
conscience. And then,
Uh-uh.
like you said, imagine being the team, the demo team
Right.
that has to go in and take everything down.
Yeah. Right.
I couldn't do it.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh. No. Well, anyway, it's um, they keep, and here's the thing, they keep striking at features of the park that are Walt's. They keep destroying things in the parks that have Walt's fingerprints on them. And where does it stop? For 55 years in October, guys. October 1st will be Walt Disney World's 55th anniversary. For 55 years, and the company itself 100 plus years, double that basically. They have understood the importance of preserving Walt's legacy. They
Yeah,
have understood that Walt is still, make no mistake, folks, Walt Disney is still the is still the most important part of Walt Disney World
yeah,
and Disneyland and the Walt Disney Company, because they have preserved his legacy all
yeah,
these years. They have understood the importance of preserving his legacy. And now it seems like after 2020, y'all, they used COVID as an excuse to bring in all this stuff. It happened under the Chapek era.
Yeah.
Bob Chapek. They used that as an excuse to start making all these changes. They fired a bunch of the older Imagineers. They hired a bunch of kids that obviously don't know what the heck they're doing, and this is what we're getting. We keep getting this, and so if this okay, so Country Bears didn't upset you. Splash Mountain didn't upset you. We don't need, Liberty Bell or Tom Sawyer. Oh, we don't need that. How about this one? Does this one upset you? Because this is progressive.
Yeah.
This is progressive.
Yeah.
Right?
People
you and I, not to say I told you so, but we told you so.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, we've seen the writing on the walls for multiple attractions for a long time now. It's just been a matter of waiting for it. And like you said, boy, I hate being right all the time.
Right.
But yeah, so people love Walt quotes, right? They love to talk about, change and progress and innovation. Well, here's one for you from the D23 website. From Walt Disney. It says, "I love the nostalgic myself. I hope we never lose some of the things of the past." So there you go.
That hit you right between the eyes.
Yeah. But anyway, it's right there on the D23 page.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's
we'll
it's a bummer.
We're talking about this one, to come. But I was there on January 26th when Country Bear Jamboree, as we know it, made its last. It was shown for the last time. Yeah. And we talked about Country Bear Jamboree. There were people, I just don't think I would want to do that again.
Yeah.
It was. But here's the thing. Disney parks, to those of us who love Walt's legacy, and we get it when we walk into a Disney park, it is about so much more than an amusement park.
Yeah.
It really is. It's about it's about a man who was a visionary, who was willing to risk his own wealth and his own money to tell a story and to bring something valuable to people, something that generations could enjoy.
Yeah.
And that legacy is only one generation from going down the tubes.
Yeah.
It must be protected.
Yeah.
And that's why when people like Tina and you guys in the chat understand this, when we see them ripping things out of the parks that have that are right straight out of the mind of Walt Disney, then how is it still Walt Disney World?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's
something to consider.
Yeah, just food for thought. I mean, if and I understand, we love, hey, if you disagree with us, if you have a, make your point, let us know. Let us know in the comments, make your point. Be respectful.
Yeah. But,
make your point. This is just how we feel about it. This is how we, how we see it. And we've been we've always loved. That's why we have a Disney YouTube channel, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's that that announcement back from 2008 or 2009 with It's a Small World was, the first time we probably ever had an unofficial version of Hitchhiker Chat, way before we ever thought of having, 10 years
Right.
before we ever thought of having a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Um, you know, attractions have changed over time. 2009 added the characters, intellectual property characters to It's a Small World out at Disneyland, which was highly controversial at the time. Updates that they've made since 2020. Pirate Red, used to be we wants
Mhm.
the redhead with the auction. Flipping the pirates around to where the ladies are chasing
Mhm.
the pirates now versus the pirates, chasing after the ladies. Um,
Yeah.
and Trader Sam and the
Yeah.
villagers with the spears and
Mhm.
the mask, the tribal people.
Right.
On the Jungle Cruise is Splash Mountain, being changed to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which they still have issues trying to operate on both coasts to this day.
Right.
Um, Country Bear Jamboree, that's like I said, I've done it twice, and and I don't necessarily have a ton of uh don't have a ton of desire to do it
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Um, Tom Sawyer Island, the Liberty Bell, and Rivers of America are on the chopping block. They've since been demoed, and it's a bunch of dirt mounds currently. And then the Frontierland Shooting Gallery being changed to
Mhm.
a DVC lounge. um, other items. So just so you're aware, uh, here are other things that we've already got marked that will inevitably be changed at some point. They'll pull the stocks out of Frontierland, or
Mhm.
it's really more so Liberty Square, um, but they'll pull the stocks out of there. You got where you can put your legs through your
It is, yeah,
uh,
it is Liberty Square.
your
Yeah.
head and your arms in. Uh, the Haunted Mansion hangman scene, they'll pull the hangman down at some point. We're pretty well convinced. We're just giving you a preview of things to come. Constance Hatchaway will be updated just like Disneyland's, to be the brooding or beating heart bride. They'll yank Constance out at some point, we're sure. And again, these things haven't been announced, but you can, as with the list of things that I just walked through already,
Mhm.
we figured at some point that they were going to end up yanking this stuff out, and sure enough, they did. So,
Yeah.
uh, the other,
We've been predicting it.
yeah,
We have
uh,
been predicting it
the other one
for
that
sure.
they'll eventually pull down or change into something else. I think, and this one's uh, one of my bolder predictions, but at some point they're going to come for Hall of Presidents, because and they'll say, oh, it's too many. They'll come up with some other excuse of
Right.
it's too costly to maintain this many audio animatronics in one
Right.
place. You
Yeah.
know, we don't want to have the power to run this. It doesn't make sense to keep maintaining
Mhm.
this many audio animatronics in one
Well,
place. So,
we could pretty I mean,
yeah,
you're writing the script for,
yeah.
you know, for what they'll say about it. Yeah.
And also too, we in the interest of unity among our guests and to avoid differences of opinion,
Mhm.
especially
Like
related to whoever.
conflict. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to create conflict and to avoid, any potential discord among our
Mhm.
guests. We feel the need to go ahead and take out the Hall of Presidents and replace it with the Muppets describe American history.
Right,
Uh,
right.
Anyway, there's your preview of
Yeah.
of things that will eventually be ripped out at some point. Because we've got a pretty decent track record on stuff because they're pretty well predictable.
Well, we're 100%. That's pretty good for prediction. So we've looked into Leota's crystal ball, and she's 100% so far. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, let us know what you think, guys. We appreciate so much your discussion and the different.
If there's anything else you think that they're going to rip out, then feel free to drop your predictions in the chat.
Right. What will they come for next? What will they come for next? Because if they'll take it, Walt Disney's, name off the Carousel of Progress, it's not, nothing is sacred. So, anyway. So let's see. And as far as just a couple of quotes. It's interesting. We talked about the Hall of Presidents. I found this quote by President Harry S. Truman.
Jonathan says Tiki Room. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Tiki Room on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tiki Room. Yeah, I've got it. Okay, because nobody goes in there, right? The only thing new in the world is the history you do not know.
Yeah.
Now that's good. So yeah. So I would say that to all of these people who use the excuse of, well, it's not relevant to a new generation. They don't understand it. Well, that's why we call it history. And that's why it needs to be taught.
and I have something for those people. We went to Universal Studios. Yeah, I realize this is the other place, but we went to Universal Studios Orlando, and we went to Islands of Adventure last week. And anybody in the chat want to take a gander at what my boys, they're 3 and 7. Anybody take a gander about what their favorite attraction was? And I'll give you a hint. It's on the Universal Studios Orlando side. So feel free, take a shot in the dark and guess what you think my boy's favorite attraction was. And this goes along with the thought process and the argument that
it's old and irrelevant.
Yeah, it's old, irrelevant. It needs to be ripped out. It doesn't appeal to current younger generations. Yada yada yada. So,
right.
Y'all take a shot and see if you can guess what my boy's favorite attraction was.
Y'all, what you think? Yeah, this was interesting. This was interesting to Jeff and me, and to all of us. And both of them, it was unanimous.
Yeah.
3 and 7, age 3 and 7. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, back to okay. Moving right along. Let's go.
We'll go ahead and call it. I was going to wait to see if we had any predictions.
And I forgot my slide.
Okay.
There's a slide, y'all.
There you go.
We talked about the whole thing without the slide up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
just checking in. All right. No guesses, but for the crowd that says, oh, we have to update things, it just doesn't appeal to the younger generations, yada, yada, yada. My boys, 3 and 7, their favorite attraction at Universal Studios Orlando. Both sides. Oh,
there
bingo! Nailed it, Mike.
We have a winner.
We have a winner. E.T.
Yeah. Okay. Yay, Mike!
Yes.
Mike got it. How did you know that?
Steven Spielberg's E.T.
Yeah.
E.T. Here we go. When did
Came
E.T.
out
come out?
before you were born, William.
Yeah, 1982. 9 years before I was born. E.T.
Yeah.
E.T. was an opening day attraction at Universal Studios Orlando. Opening day attraction. They've built a lot of cool stuff
Yeah.
at both sides of the park.
Yeah. They have.
My boys have never watched ET, and if you go look at the parents' guide, there's good reason for that because there's some language and it was
Yeah.
the 80s were a different time. um, but you know, my boys have never watched ET. When I was little, I was a little bit creeped out by ET. We had a clock. We had a little clock in my room that sat on a shelf. We had like little crate type things that stacked on each other. It's actually my little brother's room at my parents' house right now. But we kept a bunch of plushes on this like crate shelf, and there was a clock that had ET. It was a little clock of ET, and he kind of gave me the creeps. I guess the equivalent would be my boys are kind of creeped out by our Dobby statue from Harry Potter.
Right. Right.
They're a little bit creeped out by that, and so I guess that's their equivalent to my ET. But they rode the ET ride and loved it. And the thing, they've
never seen the movie.
They've never seen the movie. They were not creeped out by this little alien. You know, Wesley's 3, and he was a little bit when we first entered the queue because they have the fake trees and they got the people dressed up like astronauts trying to look for ET in the line queue, and you have the Botanicus animatronic that pops up and has a bunch of smoke and lights and everything. My Wesley was a little bit at first kind of, he was unsure because it's dark. The big trees. But he saw that Botanicus animatronic and he said, "Ooh," his eyes got kind of wide. And then we rode the ride, and you come to the end of the ride, and spoiler alert, in case you haven't ridden the ET attraction or watched a ride through, that's funny. Jonathan says ET in the film in the closet of plushie scared me a bit as a kid. Yeah, I can relate. But you come to the end of the ride, and ET says bye to people. Like he says your name, like. They take your name at the beginning of the ride, put it on a card, and then they scan it into the thing, and it picks names from the people in the ride car. And so the first time we rode it, it didn't say their name. The second time we rode it, because the boys wanted to ride it again, ET says, "Bye, Wesley, Wyatt." And the boys thought that was the coolest thing in the world. That ET said bye to them at the end of the ride.
Yeah.
And they thought it was cool before he said their name, but the minute he said their names on the second ride through, and we rode it again. Our second park day at Islands of Adventure, they wanted to park hop on the Hogwarts Express to go back over to the other side to ride the ET ride one more time.
How cool is that?
That's how much they loved it.
I absolutely love that.
We got Wesley a little
child of the 80s. I absolutely love that. And go ahead, and then I'll tell you about the first time I saw ET in the theaters.
Yeah, we. After the second ride through, we said, "All right, we got to get him a little ET." Wesley. We got Wesley a little ET plush because Wesley adores plushies. He just does. I mean, I think there was a girl on the cruise ship at one of the shows. It was like parents, guess what your kids would say. Kids, guess what your parents would say, and they asked them questions. and there was a little girl that said, they said, if you won, parents, if your kid won $1 million, what would they spend it on? And there was a little girl that said, I would have all the plushies.
Yeah.
And they're like, they said all of them in the world and she's like, yes.
Aw.
And so I was like, man, her and Wesley are on the same page because he
Yeah.
loves plushies. So
Yeah.
anyway, we got him a little plush ET, and he loves it. But yeah, they thought the ride was really cool before ET said their name on the second ride through, and then when he said it on the second ride through, they were hooked.
It was
Just
sealed.
completely hooked.
Yeah.
So anyway, again,
Yeah.
opening day attraction. You can tell some of the animatronics are a little bit dated. The ride could probably use a little bit of a facelift, but they didn't care.
Yeah.
They were all in. So it's just really funny that these people just assume that, this ride's X number of years old, it's not relevant anymore, or
Right.
ET came out in 1982. Who cares about ET?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, my boys are 3 and 7, and it was their favorite ride on this trip.
Right. Yeah. And I will have to say that ET clock, William, my Aunt Marie gave that ET clock to Stephen as a gift. That belongs to your eldest brother, and it was a gift from my Aunt Marie. So,
the ride opened June 7th, 1990. So it's older than I am. The ride itself is.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty neat. Yeah. Well, and okay, ET. All right. So Jeff and I are high school sweethearts. For those of you who didn't know that, Jeff and I are high school sweethearts. And when ET came out, we decided that his very best friend, this other couple, we were going to double date and go see ET at the Oldham Theater in Winchester, Tennessee, still there. And so we decided it was Tracy and Stacy.
Okay.
Anyway, so we decided to go. Now, here's the thing. All of them, I was the only one of the four of us who had never seen the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we get to the end of the movie and ET is saying bye, and I'm crying like a little girl, they were laughing at me. They were like punching each other, going, "She's gonna cry. She's gonna cry. There it comes. They're in the theater." Oh my gosh. I still remember that. It was traumatic. And I didn't care because I was really upset that ET was leaving. So that's my ET story.
Yeah.
That's my ET story.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. I still remember that to this day. And they teased me for crying for weeks. That followed me around. Yeah. Just cried, and they told people, that I cried, and I was indignant, and I was like, well, you probably did too the first time you saw it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, that's my ET story.
Yeah.
They just teased me unmercifully for crying at ET. Yeah. I still don't care. I'm still upset that he left. So
anyway, I just there's people out there that just say anything that's anything that's older. Oh, it's not relevant.
Right.
Kids these days don't care about that. When you do such a great job at allowing, bringing guests into a story and allowing them to interact with characters in that story, it makes all the difference.
It does.
I mean, Yes, there's animatronics on that ride that could probably use a little bit of work. But by and large, that it's phenomenal. I mean, the attraction is incredible. Yeah, I it's just
Well,
my
they brought the movie to life.
yeah,
They brought the movie to life, as you said, William, so that you can interact with it, and
yeah,
that is Universal taking a page out of Walt's playbook,
yeah,
out of Walt Disney's book, because who did that first? That would
yeah,
be Walt Disney.
yep,
So, yeah. Tina said, dust it, grease it up, and it's good to go.
right.
Right. Exactly. Well, moving along, guys. So thank you so much for indulging us here. We've been
Yeah, and I'll talk
talking about
more about my experience. We had and I'll just super quick. We had a wonderful couple days at Universal.
Yeah.
And I'll talk more about that next week, and then we'll talk about the cruise the week after. But I do want to give a special shout out to the team members at Universal, for making us feel important, for making us feel special, and for I've been to Universal a handful of times now. I've not I haven't been there nearly as much as I've been to Disney World. But they were very kind and helpful, and fun to interact with on this trip, noticeably more so than previous trips we've taken to Universal. Again, we haven't been to Universal as much as we've been to Disney, but I was blown away with how well we were treated, and the just the friendliness of their team members on this trip. I was very blown away by it.
Yeah. So cool. We'll look forward to hearing about that next week, and then the following week on Hitchhiker Chat, you'll be talking about the cruise.
Yep.
In detail with pictures, and you can regale us with your seafaring adventure.
Yeah. Well, I'll run through the Disney movies coming this year. I got Hoppers came out March 6th, which was pretty fun. It's not classic. It's not classic, but it was pretty fun.
It was cute.
I'd give it a solid B, a B minus maybe. Worth seeing. The Devil Wears Prada 2, May 1st. Mom, you went and saw that, right?
I saw that. If you are a fan of the first one, you will love the second one. Trust me.
Yeah.
It's a very fitting follow-up. I talked about that a couple of weeks ago after I saw it the first time, but it is a lot of nods to the first one. So many of almost all of the cast reprised their roles. Stanley Tucci and Hathaway. Oh my goodness. Just fantastic. It was good. It was fun. It was some twists and turns. You will love it. If you like the first one, go see the second one. You will not be disappointed.
Next on the list, Star Wars: The Mandalorian Grogu came out May 22nd. I've got to watch this before it leaves theaters.
Yes, you do.
I intended on watching it on the Disney cruise because they offered it there in the theater, but I was just worn out by the end of the day. And so I said, well, I can watch the movie anywhere. So, anywhere in a theater off of this ship. So I guess I,
right.
should take advantage of the things that I can do on the cruise ship versus watching a movie there.
Yes. And Hoppers actually will be on Disney Plus tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Awesome. The boys will be excited to know that. I'll mention that to Jillian, and I'll probably watch it tomorrow while I'm working. Toy Story 5 will come out June 19th. Again, I don't I assume if there's a Toy Story 5, they're probably just going to go ahead and do a Toy Story 6 while they're at it. And
then we'll get into Fast and Furious numbers.
Yeah, right. but who knows? Neither Tom Hanks nor um,
Tim
his name
Allen.
Tim Allen are necessarily spring chickens. So I don't know what their intentions are with this franchise. I guess we'll find
No.
out. You know, I thought with 4 that they were probably going to call it, but yeah, they got Toy Story 5. I still think the way that you end this thing is for Bonnie to gift the toys back to Andy for his
For
you
his
know
children.
for
I do
his
too.
child. Uh, so anyway, we'll see whether or not that happens. But
Yeah.
Moana live action, which again,
Mhm.
who asked for that? But
Who
live
asked for
action,
that? If you're out there and you ask for that, please stand up.
yeah. It's July 10th. We just have to do everything live action.
Sure.
And yeah, Moana came out like 10 or 11 years ago. So
Mhm.
and they just put out
Mhm.
the second one, which was basically a Disney Plus series that was revamped
Right.
to turn into a movie. Uh, so I don't know. I really enjoy Moana, but I'm not. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm out on live action stuff. Unless somebody tells me you have to watch it, it's so good you got to watch it. I'm out on live action stuff by default. The only exception that I could make is we live really close to a movie theater that's $1.50 now, so
Right.
maybe on a whim, with it being summertime, I might spend $1.50 to go watch this movie. So that's my only caveat here. Spider-Man Brand New Day, July 31st. Very excited about this movie. Tom Holland once made a quote saying, "If I'm still Spider-Man by the time I'm 30, I did something wrong." Well, Tom Holland is turning 30 and he's still Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So and it's funny because he said that he actually saw that quote, like he found that quote from himself on the internet recently, and he's like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna have to amend that a little bit." Uh, but he
Yeah,
said,
that one didn't age like you
"Yeah,
thought it would.
yeah," which I mean, Tom Holland's done a lot of other stuff outside of just Spider-Man. So I mean, he's
True.
he's in a really good place from an actor perspective.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
So I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
I think maybe he thought that by now he would have been kind of handing this over, kind of mentoring the next, whether it's Spider Gwen or Miles
Right.
Morales or
Right.
Spider Woman,
Mhm.
some other iteration of a Spidey figure. Maybe what he might have been originally thinking with that
Yeah,
quote.
but
But
nope.
anyway, um, Super Trooper 3, August 7th, not at all family friendly, so I'm just gonna gloss over that one.
Yeah.
Hext, November 25th. This one, I don't know. I feel like they feel like they had like changed the direction of this one a little bit, based off of you know yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's true. Jonathan says, to be fair, though, he thought the MCU universe would have felt better after the Endgame era. Yeah, they've. We'll see if Doomsday is enough to get people to come back to the theater. Which,
Right.
yeah, coincidentally, it's the next on the list. But yeah, Hext. I want to say that they've actually tweaked that movie a little bit. There's some
Mhm.
people that are speculating that the success of K-pop Demon Hunters may have impacted Hext.
Ah.
Um,
Mm.
as K-pop Demon Hunters was, and I've not watched it. I have boys, but it's big. It won a ton of awards, and it's over big with girls especially. Um, but
Mhm.
we've never watched it. Don't really know anything about it. I did try their
Oh, yeah.
meal at McDonald's, which was pretty good. uh, but anyway, I heard that the success of that movie ended up kind of impacting the storyline and character design potentially of some of the characters from Hext. So,
Okay.
Avengers Doomsday, December 18th. This is a big time line in the sand, sink or swim.
Yeah.
Are we really suffering from superhero fatigue movie?
Right.
You know, because they've claimed, oh, there's too much stuff. You know, Disney Plus, I got to watch the Loki series and all this other junk to keep up with in order to stay on track with the cinematic universe. It's too much. It's what's the, you know, that's what the idea that's floated, you know, around on the internet. And so, you know, these two movies, Spider-Man Brand New Day, which Spider-Man was it No Way Home? How that put up crazy box office numbers, didn't it?
Yeah, he at the end of the last movie, spoiler alert, he erased himself from everybody's memories. Right?
So yeah, it made Spider-Man No Way Home grossed over $1.92 billion globally, making it one of the highest. Yeah, making it one of the highest grossing films in cinematic history.
Wow.
So anyway, you know, Spidey is pretty well a sure shot for the most part of, you know, box office numbers. So, you know, I think with, you know, him and the Punisher, and we're not 100% sure what this storyline is going to be. If the Hulk's in there somehow, you know, I'm not entirely sure what direction they're going to go with this storyline. You know, apparently Sadie Sink from Stranger Things is going to be in this.
Yeah.
Some people have thought she could be a young Jean Grey. I don't know. We'll find out. There have been, you know, people speculating a lot of different things about, you know, the direction this movie's going to go. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this Spider-Man Brand New Day and Avengers Doomsday, and really, in my opinion, Avengers Doomsday has much more on the line than Spider-Man does.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, the line of chairs of stars that they put out and to initially tease this movie was just insane.
Yes.
So many big box office names. It's just out of this world.
Yeah.
The budget for this movie has to be astronomical.
Yeah.
These
people taking less than what they would normally get for a movie in order to share the pot with, because there's so many big names in it. Yeah.
So to me, this one, it will be the true indicator more than Spider-Man of our people, you know, which again, you know, this one is a big milestone. And
are we superhero weary?
Yeah, or you know, are we tired of, you know, tired of superheroes? Is superhero fatigue real?
Right.
Because you know, I know a lot of people are, you know, kind of skeptical of Tony Stark being Doctor Doom. Oh, I talked about Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
You know, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm very excited for Doomsday. You know, will Robert Downey Jr. be able to, you know, distance himself mentally, you know, and as a character so much away from Iron Man that you know, he's believable as a completely different person.
Well, I think the better question would be, because I have confidence that Robert Downey Jr. is a versatile enough actor that he can do that.
Yeah.
Will we be able to separate him from?
I mean, it's like whenever we saw.
Will the fans be able to do that? That's the question for me.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of like the first few minutes watching Beauty and the Beast live action with Emma Watson.
Right.
It's like, okay, she's Hermione Granger from, from Harry Potter.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and as that movie progressed, mentally, I had to kind of, her,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
was
Put
able
that
to
aside.
establish herself as being Belle. And,
Right.
even
Put it
though
aside.
mentally I wanted to connect her to being, regardless of the fact that I know that Beauty and the Beast is not Harry Potter related, that's who my mind associates her with. That's the character that I connect her to. And so,
Sure.
in a much bigger way, from an MCU perspective, and within the same intellectual property, you have the same actor playing a completely different character. So
Oh my goodness, Jonathan, what
anyway,
are you talking about? Oh my
yeah,
goodness. Well, I'm totally out. If that,
yeah, yeah,
I am team Cap all the way. I am totally
yeah.
out. If that's
Anyway, we'll find out. Yeah, Tina's got a good one here at the bottom. Yeah, there you go. Tina says, or are you putting it up, or am I gonna put it up? I'll put it up. Tina says, "I know I'm going to get grief for this, but I think that's not the way. It's not that we're superhero weary anymore than we're Star Wars weary. I think people are Disney weary. They rest on their shrinking laurels. Yeah,
wow.
that
Yeah,
that sums up a lot in a nutshell.
it
Um,
does.
you know,
It
I
does.
I it breaks my heart that's which I hadn't seen it yet, but it breaks my heart that the Mandalorian Grogu hasn't done better at the box office. I've heard the general consensus is that this movie comes off as being almost a more polished version of just another season of The Mandalorian.
I
um,
have I have seen the movie and I agree with that assessment.
yeah, and so
Um,
and
but that
also
doesn't
too,
necessarily bother me.
yeah.
Um,
Well, that's the thing is that if you love the show, you'll love the movie. But if that's that, and the other thing too that I've heard is that people are kind of disappointed because there are things that have happened, over the course of the Mandalorian storyline that kind of, made things not matter. If a case in point, IG-88 or IG-11,
right.
being blown up, sacrificing himself, blowing himself up to save everybody. And then, they just rebuilt him. um, the stakes, in the long run end up not really mattering as much
Yeah.
as
Okay.
the criticism that I've seen from people, but just
Okay.
because they end up, finding a way around it, essentially.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, that could be said of the multiverse
Yeah.
I mean, that completely, nothing has any
Yeah.
consequences if there's a multiverse out there.
Right.
But
So,
this movie, and I just wanted to mention it that it's still on in theaters, y'all.
yeah.
I would go see this again.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it because I
Oh, I
like the
want to see it.
Mandalorian Grogu.
Yeah.
But as I said last week, if you are looking for any big new revelations or big new cliffhangers or anything like that, that does not happen. So I don't want
Yeah.
to, just a spoiler alert there. But if you're looking for just solid Mandalorian Grogu, uh, storyline,
Yeah.
it's there.
Yeah.
So yeah. I liked it. I did. I liked it. And I think most people who have seen it have liked it.
Yeah.
But we were, if you were, excuse me, if you were hoping for the second season finale, that did not happen.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Uh,
Sigourney Weaver does a good job as Colonel Weaver, but nothing earth shattering
yeah.
necessarily. It's a good solid Mandalorian story,
Yeah.
but nothing earth shattering or cataclysmic. So
Yeah.
But that is still on in theaters, guys. So you'll still have a chance to see that. And of course, Toy Story 5, we've already talked about that.
Yeah.
Is coming up. And I think this is completely unnecessary. And I do not want to see bald fat Woody. I'm sorry. I don't. I'm just not interested in that. But so Toy Story 5 is coming out on what is the 19th?
Yes.
Yeah, 19th. So that one's getting close to, there'll be a lot of parents take their kids to see this. And I may go to Dangerfield and see it.
Yeah.
I may do that. Did want to mention this, y'all. This is kind of a big one. We've been talking about Universal Kids Resort in Frisco. That resort is opening on July the 1st.
Yep.
Tickets are on sale for that resort. So if I don't know, I think this is gonna be an interesting experiment.
Yeah.
This is a really huge experiment for Disney. So that's we're gonna go. We're gonna go sit. We're gonna go and check out this park. They do have 2 hotels, I think, on property. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, so the tickets are on sale. So you can check that out on their website. Jillian had 3 live streams this past week. All of them were really, really good. She did Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Magic Kingdom, and did just a fantastic job with them. She Flower and Garden. She was there for Flower and Garden, which ended yesterday, June the 1st, and Food and Wine Festival runs August the 27th through November 21st. So Food and Wine will come a little bit later in the year, but Flower and Garden did end yesterday. So, more yawns. Is anybody keeping count? So be sure and be on Team Replay for these live streams because they were really good. And if you are wanting to get to either park, Cinderella Castle, with pick your castle, pick your park, pick your castle. Jillian can get you to both of them.
Yep.
Cinderella Castle or Hogwarts.
Yep.
Contact her. This is her information. It's also in the description of this video. Her email and phone number there. She is an agent with Mickey Travels LLC. She is autism certified, which is really a nice feather in her cap and a wonderful to be able to offer those services to her clients. She's very good at what she does, and she would love a chance to plan your plan your next adventure, whether it be a cruise or whatever. Jillian can pretty much handle it. She's very good at what she does. So give her a call, and if you're planning a Disney vacation, if you want to get there to see Carousel of Progress before they rip it out, she can do that for you.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Let's see. Otherwise, we got a little bit behind in the. There were some, Tina, who said. I mean, I've seen several people who said that they felt like The Mandalorian was underwhelming. I really enjoyed it, and William, I think you will enjoy it. But if you are expecting, which I was kind of hoping for something big, something, especially since they did translate it to the big screen. I was kind of hoping for something really exciting, and that didn't happen. But that doesn't mean it wasn't a good movie. It was a good movie. So because we're just fans of the show. So okay. Do you want
I think Rob Fuzz can help you out with that, Jonathan. I don't know that Jillian can. Jonathan says, can she take me back in time to relive Horizons? LOL.
Yeah. Ooh, there's a sore spot.
Yeah.
There's a big sore spot. Do we want to go ahead, William? Oh, I know one thing that I needed to do. So I was waiting on you to come in, and then I forgot to do this. Our birthdays, and I hope Keith will. Keith has a birthday next week. Keith, a big Disney fan, he's always in the chat. And happy birthday, Susan. I hope that you have a fantastic day. Happy birthday week, and I love you very much. Loud noise coming in 3, 2, 1. There we go. So we got that.
That was Keith and Keith, Hadley, and Susan.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think I did for Hadley last week, but yes, they are. They're all happy birthday to all of you. Lorcana?
Yeah. Well, good. I've got Steamboat Willie here for Fabled. I'll go ahead and pair into mine real quick. Let's see what we got. What's crazy is how much this set Fabled, which a lot of people kind of poo-pooed whenever it came out, because they're like, we're only 9 sets, this is the 10th set. We're only 9 sets into this game. Why are we doing a reprint set? Happy birthday, Aunt Susan. But it's hilarious because the prices related to packs of Fabled, and like booster boxes and stuff have just been insane. So we got Mulan, Free Spirit. We have Queen of Hearts, Impulsive Ruler. Next up is Megara, Pulling the Strings, Hercules, and then Benja, Guardian of the Dragon Gem, Ryan the Last Dragon. Next up is Luisa Madrigal, Magically Strong One. Then we have Hans, Noble Scoundrel, Frozen. Next up is a Pirate's Life, Wonderful Life, song from Peter Pan. Next uncommon card is Aurora, which I don't think I pulled this one. Holding Court, really pretty, like her hovering crown over her head. It's pretty neat.
Oh, nice. I like that one.
We have Little John, Sir Reginald, Robin Hood. First rare slot card is an Ariel rare, Sonic Warrior. Now we have a super rare Pongo.
Oh, hey.
Determined Father. All right, so rare, super rare. What's next? A foil rare. Look at this family.
Oh,
so they did a play mat with this art on it that I got for Jillian. So there we go. So rare, super rare, and then the foil was a regular rare. So pretty decent pack.
it is not bad. Yeah. Okay. And I have from my booster box, I have my very last pack of Arcasia's Island, guys, with boats on the front. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to open that booster box of Winter Spell, William.
Yeah, do it.
That you gave me for Mother's Day. So that may be next week. Crack that box. Okay. So we have Elsa.
Nice.
That's a nice,
That's cool.
Really Elsa card there. We have Monsieur d'Arc.
Yeah. Creepy.
Yeah. He's from Hunchback of Notre Dame. Is that correct?
No, I thought he was like the insane asylum guy from
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I can see how I would get them mixed up though, because and I haven't seen Hunchback of Notre Dame in a while, y'all. So we have Roger Radcliffe, with the puppies. Continue our puppies theme there. We have Cogsworth. That one's fun.
That was fun.
That one's fun. Then we have Treasure Guardian. Ooh. The Cave of Wonders.
Neat.
And then Amelia. Aquila. Wait. Sorry, Aquila. My contact lenses are trying out, y'all.
Nice.
So that's a pretty one in the steel. And then we have Ruby Coil. Okay. Then in the dual ink, an uncommon Tweedledee and Tweedledum. That's kind of a fun one.
That is cool.
That's a fun one. And then the next uncommon is Sapphire Coil. Those cards are pretty cool. I don't know if I've gotten any of those cards before.
Yeah, those are neat.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so we have a rare Jasmine.
Nice.
We have a rare Jasmine. That's a nice card. A super rare Elsa in the dual ink.
Ooh, sweet. That one's nice.
Now that's a nice one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. A super rare in the dual ink is really nice. But I think, William, you have one tonight because my foil is a common.
Okay.
Training staff.
So you get what did you get? A rare, a super rare, and then a common on the foil.
And then a common foil.
Okay. All right.
You got a rare foil, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, one. I'm still hoping that at the bottom of this box I could pull an enchanted or an iconic would just be incredible. I feel like there's still a chance. I've got 3, 5, 6 packs left. So
I got all the way. I mean, I got down to about that point in the Sarkasia's Island booster box and pulled that enchanted. So
yeah.
So there's more than a chance there. And we had talked about how, you normally don't necessarily, from what we understand about the odds, which they have never, formally come out and told us the odds, specifically of pulling an enchanted. You don't normally get them from a booster box, but I got one. So,
right.
So that's pretty cool. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and post this link to, so you guys can, if you want to, you can check out Jillian's live stream. And that's her Magic Kingdom live stream. That one was really cool, guys. She does the Hall of Presidents, several different rides, but she ends the night in Frontierland watching Starlight. So it's really, really just a very nice live stream. So check that out. And I don't, as far as what we're going to do next week, William is going to tell us about his trip to Universal. So that'll be next week. I share some tips and tricks, William, and some pictures.
Right.
And then the following week, he's going to talk about the Disney cruise. So, and I'm excited about that.
I got a new shirt, which, my park shirts, especially Universal, are my shirt game's a little bit lacking. I have a few Mario related shirts, but anyway, Jillian, there was like a buy one get one for on shirts deal.
Right.
There was a shirt Jillian wanted on the rack, and so this was one of the other shirts that she said, let's do the deal. I'll get the shirt I want to get, and you can get the Wizarding Dad shirt. And she said, you need more shirts anyway. So
That'll
I'm not
work.
sure. I'm not sure what she's talking about. I've just been wearing my Lion King shirt to Animal Kingdom for, you know, probably over probably over 10 years now.
I finally got some more Animal Kingdom appropriate attire.
Yeah.
I finally got, I've got a couple of shirts and a hat and a few things, but um well, you have Nate, don't you have a Lion King spirit jersey, right?
No, maybe no.
I thought you had a Lion King spirit jersey. So maybe no.
It's not. It's not hanging up in the closet. So I
Okay.
don't know.
Maybe that was one that I've intended on buying for you and I never did.
Yeah.
So I thought you had it.
Yeah. No, I did really like that red one that they had put out.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's not hanging up in the closet with my other ones. So maybe it ended
Well,
up somewhere by mistake.
especially for you though. I mean, I have to wear my spirit jerseys in like November, December,
Yeah.
and you would probably, probably still be too hot for you to wear.
Right.
So,
Right.
anyway, I don't know if is there anything else. We appreciate you guys sticking with us through this. It's been interesting conversation.
Yeah.
As
for
always,
sure.
and if you have a thought or a suggestion, or anything about what we talked about, leave a comment for us, and let us know. We appreciate you guys being here. We really do, and
Yeah, we do.
hope that Susan. I hope that you have a fantastic birthday tomorrow. I've already sent you your present. I'm glad you really liked it, and of course Hadley. Our granddaughter, and and then it's birthday week, or almost birthday week for Keith, big Disney fan, one of our friends in the Disneyverse. So I hope you all have just a fun day. Birthdays are special.
Yeah.
Birthdays are special. So anything else, William?
Not that I can think of. Yeah, I'll have to get some pictures over to you and gather. The boys got a decent amount of merchandise on this trip, so I'll
Right.
have to round some of that up. But anyway, got some some cool pins and some magnets too. So anyway, we'll looking forward to talking about Universal next week.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. Okay, just want to do a roll call or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I got that.
I don't know if you. I wasn't sure if you did it or
thanks
not.
to Angela and Aunt Susan again. Happy birthday to Aunt Susan. Dean the Turkey Legster, Tina McNeil, Main Street Nick, BDF, Keith. Yeah, happy birthday to him as well. Coming up, then Juma Brown, Mike 88 NYC, Pam's fam, Cherry Blossom Fairy, Darius Smith, newer name to the chat. Thanks for being here, Darius. Kadani Sean, Jumbo Sean, Hatbox Ghost Jerry. It's always great to see through you. Hitchhiking Bones, both on screen and in the chat. Joseph Dion, Jane in Travels, Jonathan Chung, Julio, Andy Coog, 86, Kay Wilby, Robert Sprite, Dave Stragan, Sweet Honey Fairy, Kevin Theme Park Adventure, Mandy Adams, Dawn. Oh, whoops, never mind. I think that was the end with Kevin Theme Park Adventure. If I missed you, I apologize. Do the best I can to write down everybody's names as you leave comments in the chat. But we appreciate you being here. Let me know if I miss you so we can thank you properly for being here. Because your support truly does mean a whole lot to us. So thanks everybody for your support. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on the replay, big shout out to our friends that are Team Replay. If you ever watch on the replay, please leave a comment and let us know so we can thank you. We really appreciate it. Whether again, if you're ghost watching, you have us on in the background, we really appreciate you. Or if if you've been in the chat with us, for almost 3.5 hours now, we really appreciate your support, and we love And
No wonder I'm
sometimes,
yawning.
yeah, so
Sorry, guys.
sometimes the Disney news kind of can take the wind out of our sails. Um, but other stuff, is really exciting. So whether it's good or whether it's bad, whether you're excited for something or you're not, we appreciate you being here and
Absolutely.
joining in on conversation.
Absolutely.
So big shout out to Dean at the Live Place. Check out theliveplace.com. It's basically a TV guide listing for family friendly live streams and channels. Again, check out Dean's theliveplace.com and then his YouTube channel, The Live Place and Dreamers Empire. If you're a YouTube creator looking to grow your channel, check out TubeBuddy. It's a great tool that helps track viewing trends and suggested keywords for titles and tags and other channel data that'll help you grow your channel. Basic version's free. If you have under 1,000 subs, it was discounted. Use our link in the description below. We'll both get a free month. And then Stickermule, if you want, stickers, buttons, magnets, pins, keychains, cheese, not cheese.
It's late. It's late.
Yeah,
And
keychains, buttons, stickers, magnets, pins, etc. Anything like that. Check out Stickermule. Use our link in the description on the video. We both get $10 credit for future order. As Mom said, Flower and Garden is wrapping up. Actually, it did wrap up 2 days ago. Check out our friends. We love our friends, Jeff and Angela at Diz Our Dream. I thought it was really cool that Jeff and Ange shared some pictures progressing through the festival. So like day one of the festival, here's Lotso's topiary. And so they had showed a progression over time of him growing out, and then it looks like they trimmed him back some, and then by the end of the festival, he had kind of bloomed back out a little bit. Another interesting thing, though, is they showed the progression, like the first day of Flower and Garden, they gotten like a cheese tray, like charcuterie style, and the cheese tray had a lot more stuff on it on the first day than it did as the festival went on.
Oh,
yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Tina saw the post too, in the chat here. Yeah, definitely less food as the festival went on. So anyway, it's that's cool stuff. That's definitely worth monitoring for sure. Because I mean, if people are putting out promotional pictures or saying, "Oh, check out this plate at the festival," and somebody says, "Oh, somebody posted about that. I need to get that when I go." I'm like, man, well, you might not. You might not be getting the same portion size as that person. So
exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You can't. Disney can't get away with anything.
Oh no.
Anymore. With social media, they can't move a trash can 10 feet without somebody covering it. So that's just how
anyway. I really appreciate Jeff and Angela for keeping track of stuff like that over the course of the festival.
I'll have to look.
Oh, the last one. Tina said the last one was loaded up. Yeah, there was one in the middle. So it started off with a lot on it. The middle one did not have much on it at all, and then the last one was loaded up. So, I mean, your mileage may vary.
Right. Cool. Okay.
Again, we go live every Tuesday night, 9:00 p.m. Central, 10:00 Eastern. Be sure to join us live or watch on the replay. Remember to like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you haven't already, so you get notifications when we go live or drop new videos. Check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and X. If you want to reach out to us, you can send us an email at thehitchhikingbones@gmail.com or send us a direct message on Instagram. Again, if you ever have any questions or if you want to hear us discuss a topic, feel free to reach out. We're definitely open for recommendations for sure. Anyway, we appreciate you. Again, look forward to talking about my Universal trip next week, and then 2 weeks from now discussing my first ever Disney cruise. So on the Wish. So hopefully I'll see all of y'all for both of those streams here the next couple weeks.
Absolutely. We appreciate it, guys. Hope you have a fantastic week. And at the Hitchhiking Bones YouTube channel, there is always room for one more. So please hurry back.
Everybody, thanks y'all. Have a great night.
Thanks so much for being here. We appreciate you.